That's so exciting, and it's so amazingly attractive.
Yeah, you're not laughing now, are you?
Oh look, I've lost it. What a start. One in the chat, if I put a big smile on your face. I'm guessing there was already one on it, to be honest with you. But did you see me lose my balance there? I thought I'll be right. I had to put the fan on. And lovely times. Listen, people. Listen, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, lovely to see those ones. Go on, you bastards. Dan will be here soon, but he knows I'm going to yap for a while beforehand. He's not late or anything. He's done it a few times. Listen, people, I know a lot of you don't like football. I'm not talking about football, although Arsenal are playing Inter Milan in the Champions League later. So we might get a 3 or 4 hour stream as long as the grift is adequately reimbursed, would be a word I like to use. But listen, in football, when you win a match, when your team wins, and anyone who supports any kind of any sports team or sportsman, like tennis players, when you win, you're like, yeah, we won, wicked. It's great while the goals are being scored and that. But afterwards, you enjoy it for like an hour. You might watch a couple of streams about it. But when your team loses, ruins your weekend. Like you're shitty with people. And every 10 minutes you remember, oh, fucking hell. And every time you go to YouTube, because you usually watch videos about that, you see videos about your team. Arsenal, disgusting. Arsenal, lazy. And it really gets you. So what we tend to do, and this is, the receipts are in on this psychologically, that when we have bad news, we really dwell on it. We really consider it, and we know it, and we let it affect us. But when we have good news, we're almost neutral. It's almost like expected. All right, we won, yeah, but we go up a little. We have a little bump in our mood. So what I want you to do is just understand how different this could have been. There's a communist government in the United Kingdom at the moment. It's not hyperbole. I'm not an idiot. I know a little bit about communism. I was a communist for a long time. I read most of what Marx wrote, unfortunately. Very boring. Das Kapital is quite funny in parts, actually. But that doesn't, thesis on Fearback. It's like, why am I even reading this? But we could have had a communist government in America. Now, there's something weird that people often don't think about that. Not only the devastating effect on the economy, and we'll get onto that, but then you've got competing communists. What, communist China, communist Russia, communist North Korea, Vietnam is communist, Cambodia is communist. Got to keep it down a bit. But and then you've got a communist government in the USA competing with communists. Now, I'll give you a little example. Lenin, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. He's considered the nice bloke of the Soviet Revolution. He went around all the peasants. He done his rallies. He's got his little flat cap. He's just like a worker. Wasn't like that. Like Harry Houdini, who's considered a nice bloke. Harry Houdini had heavies. Harry Houdini had bouncers. Because some of the ways he done his tricks, if you were looking in a certain... Like when Harry Houdini went in the water all chained up and in a bag, it'd be out of the chains before the bag went in the water. Once he got in the water, it was just a question of undoing the bag, which he could do because the knot was tied in such a way that he could open it from the inside. But then he'd swim around the corner, because I was under the water. On the Hudson in New York, he'd swim around the corner and just come up for air. And if anyone saw him there, they'd be like, hang on, he's here. Because if they just threw him in the water and he'd come up, nothing. Stay down there for a minute, 2 minutes. You got the scientists and the doctors with their stopwatches, 150 years ago going, A human cannot survive for more than 3 minutes underwater without air, without oxygen. Houdini. And then, the sack comes up, all ominous, because he swum back round and let it up. I will get back to the thread here. Dan's here. I'll let him in a minute. Sorry, Dan, I don't mean it like that. I'll let you in. If your name's not on the list, you're not coming in. But then Houdini would let that sack up, go around again, get some air. And if anyone saw him, Houdini's muscle would kick the shit out of him. This is a thing. This is a historical fact. I love Houdini. I've done my GCSE English speech on Houdini. I didn't have to rehearse it. I didn't have to write it. I was so into him, I just stood up and went, right, absolutely nailed it. Having some kind of raconteur abilities. Don't forget, people, like this video. It really helps me. It's free for you to do. Just press like, and YouTube might send it to some other people. Also, if you're new here, I'm a writer. It's quite testing material. It's quite demanding material, but it's free. Top link in the description. Get through all the AI rubbish that I just put there to get views. Substack. Click on that. 35 short stories. Thank you. Anyway, our man Lenin had muscle. He comes along. We must fight the czars. We must get the means of production and own the means of production. And then Tolstoy was a bit of an entryist. He was a communist versus a communist. He ended up with an ice pick in his head. And then what happened? What happened next when there was a communist versus a communist? Stalin, our man Stalin. Our man who really, we give it to Solzhenitsyn, but really, Stalin wrote the Gulag Archipelagos. He authored it. Let's face it. If you see what I'm saying, Stalin was the material. So that's a whole nother consideration. Competing communists. Whoa. So just leave that to think about another time. We could have had. I don't even know who would have been pulling the strings. Maybe Obama, maybe the Clintons, maybe a collection. We are talking deep state, without a doubt. And I'm sure you've all got your own opinions on who the deep state is. But they didn't want Trump. They didn't want this. They didn't want Epstein's diaries to come out. They didn't want that little book to come out. Will it? It might not. We think it will. You assume it will. But please, just really enjoy this. Really enjoy what has just happened. The stock market's gone absolutely bonkers. And I've got some stories to tell you about that later. Why? Because Republicans, they're considered the law and order party, aren't they? It's all about law and order. No, they're a fiscal party. It's all about let's fucking make the economy work. Before I carry on having the whole stream, I'm going to do this. Danny boy!
Hello. How you doing?
Hello, Dan.
How you doing, Chris?
I can't give a high five to you because you don't show that.
I am doing it, but you just can't see it.
That's what she said. I am absolutely buzzing. I'm knackered because I'm working my ass off. I had to work 3 days through a cusp of a migraine, only kept at bay through meditation to save my business. Miraculously achieved. Wow. So 2 days ago, I'm literally thinking, right, with my investments, I could with a couple of years YouTubing, because I can't write commercially. I think I'm one of the century's greatest writers. I mean that, Dan. I really mean that. Yeah, but I do though. Why wouldn't you think that if you wanted?
I'm just saying I'm not denying it. I might read your book when it comes out. Is it ever coming out, Chris?
Yeah,
I might read it when it comes out and agree with you. But until then, it's a weird thing to say about yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, that is what they've done to the working classes.
We don't believe in ourselves anymore. Cynical, right?
Yeah, we're not allowed to. That's that reply. Were you a good YouTuber?
Yes.
You were a brilliant YouTuber, weren't you?
I don't think I was one of the best YouTubers of the century.
That wasn't the question.
I was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've got different competition there, haven't you? It's slightly different.
I'm not PewDiePie.
I think in terms of the literary canon of literary fiction, I think this novel and some of my recent shorts are in a line that are to do with the Western canon. Anyway, regardless, we're not meant to be celebrating me. I do that all day long. It's amazing. Dan, let's just get the grift out of the way. Hang on, where's my little grift star? Hang on, we've got a problem here. Where's that gone?
What's a grift star?
I should have a little QR code up in the top right.
Someone in the chat said I had the best intro ever. I will accept that. I did have the best intro ever. No, sure. So I agree with you, Chris. You're right. Fuck it.
There you go. You've even said that. You've
convinced me
on X.
Yes, you've convinced me.
Hey, people, can you see the QR code on Dan's in the top right of the screen? Oh, that's a damn shame. That's hey, where there's a little bit of filthy lucre, I'll get it sorted. Don't you worry about that, Manny, my boy, Manny, my boy. Right, let's get this out of the way, because I'll tell you what, people, keep feeding the pig, and you might get 3 or 4 hours out of me here. Football starts at 3 o'clock. Yeah. Right. Super chats at the top of at the bottom of the YouTube. Entropies at the top of the YouTube chat. And if you run your camera over that QR code, you can buy me a beer. It's that thing. That one takes the least money out of the donation. When you run your camera over that QR code, a little link will come up on your screen. Click it, and you'll get a video reply from me. Like literally, not one that's just there, automatic. I'll reply to you personally. So I mean, who doesn't want that? Anyway, that's the grift out of the way. But don't worry, I'll come back to it just in case you missed it. That'll be repeated 4 or 5 times. Kim started the day with the smell of napalm. I feel the smell of political napalm. Victory indeed. Thank you, Kim. Machano Caprasci. Dan, as you can see, I'm a little bit hyper. It's a combination of, like I said, managing to save my business and come out of it smelling of roses and better. I won't go into the details, but the next year I'm like, wow, have we really pulled this off again? Yes. But also, come on. I really fucked this up. Anglo wrote to me, one of my really good subscribers. He doesn't get notifications. He asked me if I could notify him by email when I stream, right? Now, he's a very generous subscriber, but I would have done it anyway. And since I mentioned that, I've got about 5 other people. And so I have to email them on streaming in an hour. Well, no, it's no effort. But he wrote to me a few days ago and he went, you've got to be doing an election stream. And because of the time difference and all that, and because I assumed, as I think a lot of people probably did, that it wasn't going to be, it wasn't going to be he's won. It was going to be, oh no, we've got to give it 5 days for postal votes. Remember all that?
Did he really want to do a live stream to cover the election as it was happening?
Yeah, which I wanted to do. That was my plan.
Okay.
But I got it.
But there's so many people that do that. I mean, last night I was flipping between. I think I started with the Lotus Eaters, and I was flipping.
That's it.
There was loads of them. Tim Pool. I mean, I'm not really a fan, but Lotus Eaters did a really good job. I really enjoyed that for the time that I was up. I had to go to bed because I was shattered and drunk. But but the point is, there was plenty of people doing it.
Yeah, and when I realised I'd screwed it up, I thought, yeah, but look at the competition. I mean, Teddy Dutton was on the Lotus Eaters. What's his name? Ianopoulos was on the Lotus Eaters.
I saw that. That was weird. That was a blast from the past. But he's funny, still.
Yeah, I think he's straight now. I think they prayed the gay away.
Wow, there you go.
Something you might want to think about, Dan.
Oh, low blow.
I done a you're gay joke. Then look at me. I've literally got aching well, they're not quite jowls. I'm not that old, but I've got aching pre-jowls. I've just been grinning like a monkey all day. Let's have a quick look because so he's won the presidency by a landslide.
He's won everything. He's won everything. Yeah,
not quite. He's got the Senate, which is brilliant. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to see John Kennedy. I can't wait to see Ted Cruz. Josh Hawley kept his seat. I can't wait to see my bad boys of the Senate sitting there now. And for the last 4 years, they've been saying, if just one of you had the balls to just say, no, this is insane, but you won't. Because this, they've really been going for it, but now they're going to be sitting there. Oh, we're working today, are we? It's just incredible. But they haven't quite got the house. Now, if anyone in the chat, hello, Freaky, hello, Fitzy Kaza, hello, James, hello, The Truth Will Set Life Free. Nice to see all of you. I'll try and get all the hellos in. Hello, Special K, but I won't do it all in one go because it's dull. But he hasn't quite got the house yet.
I see.
If they can get the house. Now, if anyone in the chat knows more about this than me, not difficult, let us know. But hang on, why is that coming up? Hang on, the entire screen. Right there. So I've got this here, this live... it's a live automatically updating. I'll make it a bit bigger. Oh, not that big, not that much bigger. Bosh. Didn't work. Maybe it only works over there.
What's that big blue state next to Texas? I can't see the letters. What is that? Is that Arizona?
What?
No.
NM. New Mexico.
New Mexico. There you go. I see.
Which is a Democrat. I mean, it's probably only them who live there. Those three. Hello, Eleanor. How are you, love? Hello, Lulu. Scory's on the firm. How's your foot? A few sights and sounds. It's been a while. Rags didn't have to call me. Rags said, no, they've certainly got the house and the popular vote. The popular vote is incredible to get. I mean, look at that map. Nice to see you, Rags, by the way. I mean, look at it.
By the way, have you seen, I don't know how many votes have been counted so far, but have you seen the graph that shows the drop-off in votes from 2020 to now? The Democrats have lost about 10 million votes, if you believe that election was legitimate, of course.
Is it easy for you to put that link in the comments?
I don't know. I just saw it on Twitter. Sorry, X. It's on there somewhere, but people have probably seen it.
I have not, but I'll find it in a minute. Hello, Floella. I hear you were absolutely hilarious on, was it 42 stream the other day or someone's stream? Someone told me something amazing about you. And you were good. You were good value on here as well. Hello, Latus. There you go. He was in. James. Hello, Alan. How are you, son? So, Dan, tell us your story of the hang on, before we get there, look. So the Democrats have got this. Some Rags said that they've got the house. Does anyone know? All Latas said the Dems lost 17 million. That must have been all those zombies that voted last time.
Yeah, all the dead.
There you go, Alan. Love it. There, I look, James. Well, the dead were far less energetic this year. Corn pop. I agree with you, mate. I honestly think if Trump didn't win this election, they will spend the next 4 years importing millions of illegal immigrants into all the swing states. They'll give them a free house, free phone, free money, and they'll know, vote for us or you lose all your free stuff and you'll get chucked out. And there would not have been a worthwhile election for generations. You'd end up with a one-party communist state. Sounds like somewhere I know, weirdly.
I've sent you a link in the private chat, by the way, Chris, of that graph.
Sweet. Nice one. Let's have a look at that. Bosh.
It's pretty stark.
If you sent me gay porn.
Well.
There you go, people. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. So, this is 2012 on the far left. 2016, There you go. So the blue
This is
is
the popular vote. Yes, the popular vote.
You've got to remember, people, that in America, it's the other way round. So the Republicans are red and the Democrats are blue. It's a constant confusion for me. I can't quite, I've always grown up with blue being the Tories, So in 2020, I see a lot, I've lost track of it there. Look at that. Huge numbers. 81 million it was supposed to be, wasn't it? 81
the most popular president in history, Joe Biden. Does anyone believe that? No. The guy, he's not even alive, for Christ's sake. And to be fair, the Republican vote back then was quite high, but it's not that much higher than it is now. The drop-off on the Dem side is ludicrous. Look at that. Amazing.
Well, they wanted to destroy the country. That's what communists do. That's the plan,
yeah, of course.
Trump closed the border. As soon as they got in power, they opened it. It's exactly what they're trying to do in the United Kingdom. That's how you do it. It's just about power. They don't give it. The Dems didn't give a toss about the American people. Trump ran a very simple campaign: close the border, lower taxes, lower regulation. Kamala ran a very good campaign not to vote for her by being her. So what time did you wake up? Thanks for that, Dan. What time did you wake up and smell the coffee, so to speak? You were on the piss last night, as usual. I mean, once in the blue.
I can't remember what time it was, but I looked and I saw that he'd been projected to win, and I thought, yeah, there you go. Easy. I didn't realize how much of a victory it was. I always thought he would win, but I thought it would be closer, just because that's the way things are these days. But I wasn't expecting him to just blow through everyone and do that well. It's in terms of modern elections, it's quite unprecedented as well. It really is impressive.
I really had no idea, Dan, because we done a poll on here the other day, and it was do you think Trump will win? Do you think Kamala will win? Or do you think Kamala will win by cheating? And I think about 30% of people said Kamala through cheating. And I reckon tonight there are a lot of very frightened people. Look, Trump he's now got Elon on the firm. The power there is incredible. He's now best mates with the bloke who owns one of the most influential alt media sites in the world. That's where conversations happen. That's where people go for their news. It's the quickest news. He's got Rogan on the firm. Did you see Vance on Rogan? I mean, what an incredible display Trump and Vance done on Rogan. And the next 4 years, if all goes well, Vance will be being prepped to take over as president. And I think JD Vance will make an incredible president.
I'm not as sold on him as you are. I think he's a great speaker. He's very slick. And in a way, it's strange. That's kind of what I am suspicious of about him. He's very slick. And I don't know if that's genuine or not. Well, yeah, however, what I will say is this time around, Trump is surrounded. He's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. We're not here to say he's the greatest thing ever. But he's surrounded himself with people that, compared to his last time in office, it's just night and day. I mean, Elon Musk, you mentioned him. Can we just acknowledge the fact that if Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter at the time, then, I mean, Christ, what would we have been restricted from seeing? The news that would have been suppressed, especially here in the UK with, Southpaw and all of that. I mean, my account was brought back randomly. It was amazing. All these people have been brought back, and you can spread information, and it seems like a much fairer playing field now online. Whereas in 2020, I mean, Christ alive, how many people? It was a different world. The censorship was through the roof. Yeah, terrifying. It was insane, and that's still a threat. Don't get me wrong, but now at least we have our billionaire to fight our corner now.
We always used to say it, didn't we?
We did in a joke way, but it's true. It's true.
Why? Where's our fucking Soros? I think Bill Gates will be shitting himself tonight. I think a lot of them will. I just want to go back to JD Vance. Did you see him on Rogan?
I watched about an hour of it. I didn't see all of it.
I thought he came in the chat between 1 and 10. 1 not so sold. 10, dog's bollocks. What do you make of Vance? Not
I
necessarily.
Think, like you said, he's a very good speaker. He can narrate very well. But I got the impression that he had practiced in the mirror a lot, and he had his stories primed up. And maybe that's just being a professional politician. Maybe that's just the way he is. But the reason why Trump resonates with a lot of people is because you can tell he's just, he gets on stage, you don't know what he's going to say. He could just do whatever he wants.
I'll tell you what, you're not going with the flow there, Dan. Winstoner, hello Winstoner 9. Special K doesn't like. Doc Shelley 3, but the 5. Hello RMF, long time no see. Nice to see you. Floella 8 from TJ. Scory 7.5. Rags an 8. Barrett Zippo 8. 42. That email you sent me, beautiful stuff. I'll reply to it in person though. But what a wonderful, lovely. You know what I'm talking about. I'll get a reply to that. Fitzy Kaza 8. 5 from JP. 7 from Chimera. 8 from Lulu. Hell Pigs 3. Lot of new people here. Please give my Substack a go. First link in the description. Just click for it. Totally free. 26 stories. I've had quite the life. You might enjoy it. You might not. It's not for everyone. That's for sure. Danny 829. Hello, AI Robot 3. Nice to see you on the firm. Mercy and Supremacy 8.5. Alan 10 out of 10. Yeah, me too. Dan, what I thought was, when I saw JD Vance doing his rallies, and when I saw him doing his news interviews, yeah, it was very much, I'm a politician, I've got to be careful here, this is kind of rehearsed, I know my lines for that. But when I saw him on Rogan, I'm not a fan of Joe Rogan. I find his podcasts usually quite boring because...
That's interesting. So why, let's go into that before you continue. Why? Because I'm not a regular viewer of his. It depends on the guest. Of course, it always depends on the guest that I'll tune in. But I don't watch everything he puts out. So I kind of agree with you, but I'm just wondering why you think that.
Well, I think
he's very influential, and a lot of people do resonate with him in his work as well.
Right. Now, I understand that it's about the guest, so you don't really want much from Joe. But every time I've watched one of his streams, and I won't watch it, I'll never watch it. I mean, it's not like I will never watch it just because it's Joe Rogan. I'll watch it because I'm interested in the guest. But he never digs. Now, maybe that's because he wants to keep it relatively superficial, but I've never seen him call someone out and sort of, and even on the odd time when he's disagreed, it's very polite. It's a polite situation. I think what made me, you and Hugh popular was that we didn't agree with each other, and do you remember when I said all that stuff that time?
Well, that could be several times you're referring to. I'm not sure what exactly you said.
I'm not going to go into it. But I think Vance is great. I think what has just happened is probably, and I said this to you earlier, Dan, so sorry for the repetition, but we have got 221 people here to see you. So I'll try not to talk as much as I usually do and give you some space. I think this is possibly, if we put wars aside, I mean, firebombing China and dropping atomic weapons, Japan, and dropping atomic weapons on Japan is quite significant. But I think this could be, because of the likelihood of a one-party state if he'd have lost, I think this could be one of America's most historic moments ever. What was at stake was the very idea of the Republic of the United States of America. And I really believe that. I think it would have become a third world country with one party. And that signals hell for the world.
I guess we'll see how the next 4 years go in terms of action. But in terms of just the reaction to the election, it's proper 2016 energy. And I think none of us have to apologize for feeling a bit optimistic and a bit happy today, and to enjoy it. You know, obviously when the rubber hits the road, we'll see how they actually implement the things they've been talking about, if they do or not.
I think he will. Sorry, Dan, go on.
No, go for it. Go for it.
No.
Okay. I was taking a mid drink there when you said that.
All right, you have your drink. I think, for instance, so he put, look, how does America and the United Kingdom, but Commie Starmer won't do it, how do you get your manufacturing base back? You put tariffs on China. You wanna export your crappy goods, which a lot of them are, through Amazon, through Temu, through AliExpress. You wanna export to America? Yeah, you can do that. You can sell to our people. There's a 60% tariff, though. Well, you can't do that. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Why would you do that? Because then people in America start making stuff again. And then that creates jobs, that creates revenue, that creates a GDP, that maintains a republic. So China have already started putting car companies, electric car companies, into Mexico to avoid the tariffs. And Trump has promised that he's going to put tariffs on them. You can't snide round the outside. Oh, no, these aren't from China or Taiwan. These are from Mexico. They're Chinese cars. And he said in one speech I saw him, he said he's looking at 100% tariff. So those cheap, crappy Chinese goods, and this isn't a dig at China. China's got some amazing technology, but the stuff they sell to us, you know, you look on Amazon, you're like, wow, look at that little kiddie swimming pool. I'll buy that for my nephew. He'll love that. Look at it, amazing. And then when you get it, it's just like shit. You know, oh, I wonder it was £7.50. It's like, what is it for one person? Like putting 1 foot in it. So you start getting rid of all that sort of lark, and you build your manufacturing base up again. The American vehicle market can start growing again. You know, the Fed are going to. I mean, the stock markets today, anyone who's in stocks have gone crazy. Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Yes, there's the inflation-adjusted all-time high, but if you take that out of the way, it's at an all-time high. MicroStrategy was up something like $30. I mean, MicroStrategy is very volatile because it's a Bitcoin company and Bitcoin's volatile. But like Tesla was up $30 when I opened it. Palantir was. Let's have a little look at some of those. See how they're doing, because obviously it all opened very optimistic, but you know whether that will last. Because what happens when all the stocks go up, all the retail investors, they don't think for the long term. They're like, oh, hang on a minute, that's $4,000 profit. I've got to sell that because that will, and it will go down. It will go down over the next year or so, or the next month.
That's natural. People take profits.
But in 10 years, taking profits is a nightmare because it keeps the institutional investors happy. When they all go up like they did, and I predicted this. I said it on this stream a couple of weeks ago. I said if Trump wins, the stock market will go insane, and it has. The S&P's like at all-time highs, I think. Anyway, let's just see whether some of the major stocks. Meme. What I mean by that is meme growth stocks, such as Palantir. I mean, look at that. Palantir is at $54. Palantir, $54.
And when did you get in, Chris?
I got into Palantir about $18.
There you go. And by the way, chat, by the way, on WhatsApp, he sends me 6-minute voice notes detailing this every now and then. I've heard it a million times. I know exactly when he got in. I know exactly how well he's doing on that.
Oh, yeah. They go up, they go down. Oh, check this out. Oh, there's some more super chats. Mucha Prasha Kanatu. You get the brass knuckles of death for donating. Hang on, let's go through some of these, and then I'm going to tell you a little story about a scrub that will blow your mind. So Palantir went up. I mean, Palantir at $54 is insane. Nvidia is currently up $5. $5 on the day. Now, don't forget that makes it $144. Don't forget Palantir, Nvidia had a 10-to-1 stock split. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
It went up. It was like 1,200 or something. So you ended up with 10 shares, at a tenth of the price. But it's gone back up to. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 3 or 4 years that Nvidia does another stock split. Oh, it's just madness.
Well, I mean, if China invades Taiwan, it's over. But we'll see. Isn't that where they're based? Taiwan, Nvidia.
That's an American company.
Are you sure? Am I just making that up?
Jensen Huang. I think he's Taiwanese, but no, they're not based there because they're not allowed to sell stuff to Taiwan.
Oh, okay. Well, I might be. Fuck it. I might be wrong. By the way, do you live next to a club or something? I can hear a band playing in the background.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is that true?
That.
No bother. I was just wondering. Good.
Yeah.
A Cambodian cover band.
I tell you what, I wouldn't have been able to stream last week. It was so loud, my windows were shaking. But obviously, all the locals complained, and they put a new roof and they put all soundproofing on the side of it. It hasn't quite worked.
Do they do requests? Can they do Wonderwall for us all?
I can kind of put up with this. It's when it goes, yeah, fucking yeah, let's fucking go. Coming in, you knew, dance, for 5 hours every night. I'm moving out of this place in 3 weeks anyway, but I was just thinking that ain't going to last. MicroStrategy is still up $25 today. So if you add 10 of those, you've made 240 quid in a day. Ridiculous. I got that wrong.
I watched a film the other day. It's called Dumb Money, and it's about a couple of years ago when all those guys were buying GameStop stocks. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And they Wall Street Bets, and they just bought all these GameStop stocks because they saw that all these hedge funds were suppressing. They were betting on it to fail. They were shorting it.
Yeah.
And then they initiated a short squeeze, and they put Christ, there was this massive multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that they put out of business. It's really interesting. Do you think that? I mean, I don't know if you've done your best to try and get the scrubs into Palantir. Do you think that more people are going to get into this kind of, because now that Trump's in, it's going to be, I think we're going to repeat 2021 again. It's going to be the same thing.
The economy is going to be amazing. The American economy is going to grow ridiculously, but this is long-term investing. You don't worry about that. You worry about your dollar cost averaging. You have a plan. You stick to your plan. If it goes down, if it goes below the 52-week high, you stick to you halve your DCA. If it goes above it and it's doing well, you double it. And if it's sort of staying the same, you do your standard bit. That's it. Every month, what you've got left, get a bit more frugal, put it on. Tesla is up $35 today. Why? Because Elon Musk. That's
even if you just had about 5 shares in Tesla and it went up like that today, you could take a small holiday with that. You really could. You could go abroad for a week with that. It's amazing.
There's loads of scrubs, Dan, and obviously because you haven't been around, you haven't heard, but they've emailed me. One bloke emailed me saying, can you send out the blurb you've been sending about long-term index investing? So I sent it out to him, and he got back to me. He said, will you do a phone call? And I said, yeah, with Skype or something. And so he Skyped. And he said to me, I've been working my ass off. It was about 40. Now, he's in the chat, by the way, and he said he doesn't want any of this to go public. I said, can I mention it? Because I knew I'd mention it at some point. And now's the perfect time. He said, I've been working my ass off all my life and saving some and living very frugally. He said, I've got a wife and 2 kids and we're skin. He said, but I've saved up 200 grand. so that when we retire, I might be able to put my kids through uni, or just he was worried, and he said, "But you've really tempted me." And then I'm thinking, "Oh fucking hell, man.
Oh Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, and another couple said we were going to buy an house, but we're thinking of investing it. Well, 2 people told me that, and I was like, "Look, it is gambling. Stock investing is gambling. Long-term investing, not so much." But this bloke, I said to him, and this was 3.5 years ago or something, I said I would probably do about 80% of that on your S&P. Use your ISA and your missus ISA as well. So that's 40 grand a year. So, over a couple of years, you can get X amount in. 40 grand a year. So they've got nearly all of it in 3 years. I said, and I'd probably, it's a bit of a gamble, but 10% on a growth stock that you believe in. I don't worry about PE ratios and all that stuff. Do I believe in the fundamentals of the company? Do I trust the management? And do I think there's a place for that company in the future? That's it. I do the Chris Camillo thing. For people who don't know, Chris Camillo had 20 grand and that's it to his name. He turned it into 2 million just investing in a matter of years. Anyway, that geezer got back to me and he said, I've put 50% in the S&P.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, oh, fucking hell. And he went, I put the other 100 grand, 50 into Palantir and 50 into Nvidia. And I didn't hear from him. And a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a screenshot of his £975,000 account.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
And he said, I
hope he sold. Has he sold anything?
Yeah, he sold a lot. That was his
good.
plan.
Good. Thank God for that.
That was his plan. He said, I wanted 1 million. And he said, I've because I kept saying to him, it's so much about temperament. You'll see your stocks go up 2-3 grand a day, especially when you've got 200 grand in it.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, it's all psychology, especially. I mean, I'm a crypto guy. I remember in the last bull run, I remember seeing my portfolio every day going up by thousands of pounds a day. You've got to be, and I wasn't prepared for that. I have to say, I really did mess it up quite a lot, but it's all psychology. You've got to be prepared for that. Nobody, I can't explain that feeling.
It up, what, in terms of taking profits or selling?
Yeah, in terms of taking profits. Yeah.
Carry on going.
Yeah, honestly, because you see, it was 2021 from January till May. It just kept going up every single day. And I'm like, my God, I'm going to retire in 2 months' time. I'm just going to hold on to it. And it doesn't work like that, does it?
You've got to keep your emotions out of it. You
can't get greedy. And I never thought I was a greedy person, but that I learned a valuable lesson at that time. I'll tell you, that will not happen again. I promise.
Some days you'll see it go up 3 grand and you're like, wow, that's all right. And then over the next week, it goes down 6 and you're like,
the funny thing is, Chris, I had people around me in my life that were saying, sell. What you're waiting for? And I'm like, no, I'm going to hold on for a bit. You don't know anything. I'm going to hold on.
But Dan, I learned. I got burned. I really got burned because you learn, didn't you? I had no one to help me. I learned off of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I started it goes up a bit. You think, if I take some profits off of that, I can stick it on this one. If this goes up £1 today, then I'll take it off that. When that dips, I'll buy the dip. Warren Buffett's classic quote, you can't time the market. You can't. Oh, it's gone down. I better sell. Oh, it's gone up. No, it's gone down. I'll buy. It's gone up. I'll sell. You can't do it because it can always go higher and it can always go lower. But what you can do is have time in the market. And historically, 10 to 15 years over the last 8 years of the S&P, you win. Over 20 years, it's something like 99.9% win.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have invested 400 English pounds a month, every month for the last 17 years, you would have 3.2 million today, tax-free, using your ISA.
Well, there you go.
Well,
I mean, now I'm the guy telling people. So my friend, for example, he bought Bitcoin at the height in the last bull run, so 4 years ago. Now it's an all-time high. So he's technically in profit now, even though he bought at the very top. So I'm telling him, look, it's up to you, but get your money back, because there'll be dips, there'll be rises. You know, you can play this, but you don't have to hold on for dear life, as people say, hodl.
Hang on, what are you advising him to do?
To get his initial investment out, or some of it at least.
No.
He doesn't have to take all of it out, but it's like, you know, if you want to be smart about it, you can. It's an all-time high. He's in profit, man.
I fundamentally disagree. First thing, you have a plan, and you stick to your plan, and you work on that plan. You know, this is your life, this is your money, this is your retirement. So have
Chris,
a plan.
We don't have a plan here. We're flying by the seat of our pants. This is not we're not smart people here. You know,
but look, all-time highs. What does that mean? It's gone up again.
And
but there'll be another all-time high.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chris. So I'm trying to be more logical here. And by people in the chat, we're not going to continue with this for the entire thing. Okay, fine. We're going to get back to Trump. But I'm trying to be more logical because, of course, Bitcoin's going to go up again. I would say from now until next May, they always say sell in May and go away. That's probably going to happen again. It's probably going to go up a bit more, but I think you risk getting that greedy gene in your head when you just see it go up and up and up and you don't take anything out of it. That's what I mean. I don't want him to do what I did 4 years ago and completely fuck it up, you know? That's all I'm saying. I agree with you in principle, but I think you've got to be more sensible as well.
No.
All right, well, fuck it then.
I honestly think,
never mind.
You know, the thing is, your compound interest is your friend. You know, if he put, let's say he bought one Bitcoin at 70,000, right? I think he bought it about 50 odd, something like that. Right, about 50. And let's say it goes to 70, right? Lovely.
Which it is now, 74 now, I think.
But don't take 50 out, so you've only got 20 in there. Keep your big whack in there so that you know, every time it goes up 5%, you're getting 5% of that big whack. Although if he wants it like a little cash cow, okay. But I'm not a trader.
He's kind of on his arse at the minute. That's why I'm saying it. So,
okay.
You know, sort yourself out first. That's what I'm saying.
Make a plan, people. Don't be a trader. 99% of traders lose money. Let me tell you something else. Dead people make more money than traders. That's a fact. Simply because time in the market is better than the absolute dream of being able to time. You can't time the market. You can't do it. Currently, with the likes of Grok and ChatGPT, you've got as much processing power at your fingertips as the biggest hedge funds with all their supercomputers. But you can't time markets.
Have you used Grok a lot?
I do use it a little bit. But
do people in the chat use Grok as well? I don't know if anyone pays for X because I haven't used. Well, I think I used it once, but I can't really remember if it was.
But every time you skim off the top, we've looked at compound interest calculators on this channel so much. Every time you take profits, you're taking. You know, look, you could take $5,000 this year. But in 10 years, you might have just taken 400 grand. That's how it works.
We don't have 10 years left, Chris. You need that $5,000. You want to go to Benidorm. You want to have a good time for 2 weeks. Fucking die. That's what you want to do.
Let's have a look at some super chats while we're talking about money. Nice one on that, Kim. There's my man, Anglo. All right, Mucker. Be with you soon. I've got a stinking hangover all day. Don't worry. So's Dan. Up late last night. Trump smashed it. He absolutely smashed it. We just got a little bit distracted on the old investing. People, if you are new here and you want to know about long-term investing, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can give you some direction. It is gambling. You can lose all your money, but long-term investing in index funds, email me if you want the blurb. I've got a blurb and I've sent it out to loads of free trade, loads of scrubs. That's what the people in this community are called. And I've had now probably about 15 emails of people who have just had their lives changed by getting into index investing. And because I started talking about it 3 or 4 years ago, they took that punt and it worked out a treat. I got one bloke who put his mortgage savings in. He was saving up for a mortgage to buy an house. And he had a plan. When that money reaches a certain amount, if it did, he'd buy the house outright. And he cashed out 2 weeks ago and bought the house outright. Wicked stuff, man. Palantir and video again. Nice one, Anglo. Always appreciate your support. I'll try not to shout so much. I'm just very excited about everything. Scorry drops in 2 for the grift. Nice one, Scorry, Ori. JP drops a deuce, as he always does. Stop making me give you money, you grifter. Sorry, John. John. Give me money. Give me money. And what you know? There you go. Less money, more talk. Less money talk, more commie bashing. It's a fair point. You've paid your request. Jordan Taylor drops a $5 into Entropy. And he says, Kamala's no-show at HQ says everything about the woman. And to think the mainstream media had it even.
That is funny. That is funny. She was supposed to do a speech last night. I think it was in Howard University, which, to my understanding, is an all-black university in America, which, she's pandering, of course. And she didn't turn up. There was a clip of a guy who had to go on stage and say, Kamala Harris, the vice president, isn't going to be here tonight, but she will be here tomorrow. So come back then. And it's like, what? Honestly, this is after the results came out. So I can only assume that she went back to a hotel room and, gargled 9 bottles of wine.
Like this, like proper rocking.
Yeah. By the way, Kamala Harris, and everyone can see this. She is a total wine ant, isn't she? She's always drunk. You can tell. She's always drunk. And I can say this with authority because I can spot drunk people when I see them, right? Yeah. But it really is true. I think last night she went back to a hotel and was just inconsolable and drowning her sorrows.
Just
That's what I think.
Prosecco.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
I just want to read the last line of that because it's quite. And to think the mainstream media had it at even. All the best, Chris and Dan. Nice one, Jordan Taylor. And Mr. MF says, what a great day for America and the West. Nice one, Mr. MF. Great stuff all around. Thank you, people. Always appreciato. I'm just going to open up that page for the QR code. Rarely do people use it live, but if they do, I want to say thank you if I see them. It's just an incredible. Oh, someone has. Chrissy's used it. Chrissy, thanks for the donation on the Buy Me a Coffee. I'll send you your private video when the stream's finished.
You do private videos? Is this like that website Cameo? You remember that?
I'm on Cameo.
Are you? Fucking hell, Chris.
No, I'm not. They asked me to. That's right. They invited me to do it.
Cameo invited you to go on.
Yeah, I've got an email from them. I will.
Really?
I don't need to prove it, do I? But yeah. They emailed me and asked if I wanted to go on there.
Wow.
I thought, come on, man. I've got no shame. I expect to earn a few quid for the hard and excellent work I do on YouTube, but Cameo is a bit far. People, if you don't know, Cameo is a website where real celebrities like Snoop Dogg are on there, and for 500 quid, you can get them to say whatever you want. So, like, if it was Dan's birthday, I'd get someone like Melinda Messenger, but in her prime, obviously, when I was fiddling around with her at Chris Evans' house on New Year's Eve. I'd get her to say, "Oh, Danny boy," and with the Iconoclast music in the background, saying, "Why aren't you making content? You're just hanging around with that degenerate Dangerfield." And they must be doing very bad because they emailed me and said, "Would you like to join Cameo?" I was like, "Sort of, but no." Actually, I might be on it. Let me see if I signed up. That'd be a bit weird.
I think you should just do it now. You should sign up now and do it. Why not?
Are you trying to make a fool of me in front of my friends, Daniel?
Because it was a big thing a few years ago, and now the only clips I see from it are from like former WWE wrestlers that are on there who get paid to call out some internet lol cow and call him fat or something. That's all you see.
Or a couple of the actors from the In-Betweeners I just saw on it. David Dangerfield is on it. A Rodney Dangerfield lookalike is on it.
Oh my God.
Nah, it would appear I managed to maintain some integrity and dropped it out. All right. So what I'm going to do is so what, Dan? What do you think is going to happen? What? I mean, he said that he reckons he can stop the Ukraine war in a couple of days. I mean, that's got to be high on his agenda.
Well, yeah. I think, well, putting aside all the immigration issues that we all know very well, and we'll get to that, but in terms of how the world is right now, especially the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and to a lesser extent the Gaza-Israel thing, but especially with Ukraine, one thing that this government in the UK did, Labour, with their budget last week or whatever it was, didn't they say something like, we're gonna put £2 billion a year towards Ukraine for as long as it takes? That was their wording. For as long as it takes. It's like, why don't you try and sit around the table and enact some fucking diplomacy? Have you ever thought of that? And of course, the reason why they don't do it is because people are getting rich from the war, and there's a vested interest in keeping the war going. But Trump hasn't been quiet on this. He said that he will bring an end to that conflict. He will find a solution. So it's really up to him to do that. And I'll be watching that. That's what I'm watching for, seeing if he manages to do that quickly. Because, I mean, it's a stupid situation. It needs to end. Our government is so weak and pathetic, and they don't want it to end. They would happily let that go on for forever, really. So I'm hoping that Trump does something with that, and I hope that Trump comes over here and bullies Keir Starmer.
He'll bully him just by saying he's coming. So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
Starmer on the heavy bag.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Oh my God, it was embarrassing. And the queer Starmer is what I call him now. And
my friend calls him Sir Neil Starmer because
yes, he did the thing. Yeah.
Sir Neil. Two-tier here. Packer talking about Cameo. You should do your own, Dan. You and your theme, wishing people well. Packer, you don't actually do that. The person paying for the Cameo tells you what to say. But if you add Dan's music in the background, I reckon there'd be a few quid in it for you, Dan. I'd just spend money on it, making you say really silly things until you finally said, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not that much of a whore."
Well,
Dan, can you pretend to be one of those string players? 500 quid. One of my subscribers paid. I think he paid a monkey to get the Island Boys to do me one. I've got it somewhere.
What's a monkey? What is that worth? 500. And did they do it?
Yeah, I've got it somewhere. They go, "Yo, Dangerfield, we know you're a YouTuber and you're a writer, yeah? And everyone loves you, man, and you help people out and that. And, just stick with it because you're going to..." I've got it here somewhere. Let's see if I can dig it out. It's not really Trump. But,
wait, are the Island Boys those two weird guys?
Yeah, who are now gay, but for each other. They're gay incest now. It became a bit of a
brothers, aren't they?
Yeah, twins.
What the? Oh my God! Okay, I'm so out of touch with this. I'm kind of glad actually that I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, we only sort of. It was only a bit of a laugh, We just they became like sort of like a, what would you call, like a local meme, We just laughed at anything the Island Boys done because they were so bad. I don't know what I've done with it, which is a bit of a shame. I can't believe I'm going to have to search Island Boys.
Fucking hell!
But it's a bit of a shame. Now I can't find it. I'll see if I can dig it out a bit later. Yeah, terrible with the little dreadlocks and the tattoos all over their faces.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, they were on TikTok.
All they've ever done is because we're the Island Boys and we're the Island Boys. You see the Island Boys, we're the Island Boys. That's it.
Sure. Yeah.
They did
which island are they from?
Probably New York.
Well, at least it's not Haiti. That's fine.
Sophist has dropped something for the girlfriend's nan's water buffalo. Nice one, Sophist. The price you can R2. If anyone wants to come in and actually say something about Trump, because me and Dan do get a little bit lost on stocks and just taking the piss out of each other. I'll put the link to come in the chat, and if you want to come in and actually say anything you want about the American election, I'll only give you about 5 minutes or whatever, and then maybe we can get someone else in. But well, depending on how interesting it is, and if you're Pags and you're really pissed, maybe sit this one out. Really?
Fuck it. Yeah. No, actually, I want them in. That's what I want.
Look who's here.
It's a golden opportunity moment.
Barks, I thought you were going to do a drum intro then. I see the kit. I thought, go on, son. It would have been amazing.
Is this you tricking me to do some performative? Do you want me to do it? Nah, it's too late.
No. We got JP on the phone as well. Hello, John.
Here we go.
Oh, nice Packer in the fake name.
Real Johnny, Knocker, Honey, Marzipan, Pizzle, Grifter. That's what I'm going to guess it says at the end there.
I can't even see all of it. So, Barclay, what's it like for a young man like you to have the old Sophist and Packer? Thanks for those donations. Machano Kaprasha Booty, of course. What are you making of the election situation? Oh, hang on. Before we go there, sorry, it's a bit of a mess. But Rags, Ragnar Ironspear, yeah, I'm not sure that's his real name, to be honest with you. He just sent me this, and this is from AP. This is from the Associated Press. Hang on a minute. Rags, you said that they got the house, but here it doesn't. Rags said, are you drunk, Rags? Let's have a look at this. It's quite interesting, actually. When Pags a laugh the other day, Packer.
Yeah.
Oi, Dan, this regular OG scrub, really nice bloke, really cool bloke, loves his music, got a system that costs, must be like thousands, all valve amps, all separates.
I know, I've spoken to Packer before.
No, Pags.
Oh, Pags. Sorry, I don't know that.
Michael Pagan.
But thanks, though.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But he come on the other week for the first time, so no one knew who he was because we didn't recognise his face. And when he went, you know who I am? And I tell you what, you can name any bit of music and he knows it. But once I went, does anyone know what King Crimson's song this is? And he put it in the chat and it was it. Well, here we go. So Rag says they've got the house, and then he sends me this link, and it says congressional election live updates. Republicans win Senate majority. House control still up for grabs. So there's the Senate majority. You can see that there, 52 Republicans against 42 Democrats. That's great news. But the House, there's 53 to be called, and the Republicans are on 201 and the Democrats are on 181. I bet those Democrats are running around like fucking blue murder trying to grab hold of those.
Oh, they'll be printing ballots and everything. They'll be...
And some mail-in ballots. Yeah. Biden will be casting like one last necromancy spell or something like that to try to get the votes in.
Yeah, exactly. Look, it could still take days to determine a winner of the House, but I tell you what, if the Republicans get the House and the Senate, I can't wait for the next 4 years. I can't wait.
Oh, sorry. If the Republicans get the House and the Senate, it's World War III and game over in about a fortnight. Have you not been listening?
This woman at my work says that. She's like, Trump says he's willing to use the police and the military to take out his distance. It's like, yes, what every politician does.
I heard today...
Showing you lack of knowledge.
I heard today on the BBC that Trump said he's going to immediately deport 11 million immigrants.
I hope he does as well.
Well,
Yeah, remigration. That's what we need.
yeah.
Hashtag
But
remigration. Yeah,
they're-
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
One at a time, please. Barkley, easy on the ADHD. Let Packer speak. He's a bit slow, but you'll get your moment. Go on, Packer.
But the argument is that he's going to start deporting immigrants that are already in the system, been in America a long time, and they're working this and that and doodah.
Yeah, because they've been
The
listening to nonsense propaganda, haven't they?
Yeah.
Insane. I'll tell you
The
what is.
immigrants he wants to deport are the ones that are sitting there doing nothing, getting paid for by the state because they just got there.
Yeah, exactly. Who've been brought in to hopefully maintain a Democrat government, and it hasn't worked. They didn't have enough time. They didn't get enough in, even though they give it a good go. Rumours are over the last 4 years it could be up to 30 million. I mean, Barkley, you were going to say, mate.
I've sort of lost the train of thought now, so you didn't play the ADHD mechanisms properly there.
I played them exactly as intended. I just want to say this because this is really interesting. So don't forget, Democrat senators, Democrat House representatives, the Democrat Party, the media have been calling President Trump a Nazi. They've been saying he's like Hitler. Now,
one of the generals like Hitler, that's what they were saying.
They're going to now have to go through American traditional handovers and actually give power to someone they said was a Nazi. So are they going to do that? Because if they are doing that, they're colluding with Nazism. Or were they lying? Are they not going to do it? So they've got themselves absolutely shafted here because it's
it's just nonsense.
One of the
for the
options for a politician is they were lying under any situation.
Do you see my point? I mean, if Elon Musk or anyone who's got a bit of media power, any of the right-wing media says, so hang on a minute, 2 weeks ago you said he was a Nazi, and now you're signing into American law that he is the what is it? The thingy-in-chief of
Commander-in-Chief
of the United States government. You're giving that to a Nazi, are you? So they've either got to not do that or say, yeah, we're liars.
Well, most of the they really had like the ramp up of like the more they'd call him a Nazi, the closer it was to election time, the more they'd call him a Nazi. Obviously, we saw like all sorts of crazy nonsense, like there's this rumor about Trump once that he wanted generals like
slow down. No, it's because I want to hear you. You don't need to.
No, I get you. So obviously there was that rumor that Trump had said that he wanted generals like what Hitler had, which all of a sudden just came out like 2 weeks before the election. They're saying that he called for the execution of some woman with the last name Cheney because he had basically said, oh, well, this woman's a total war hawk. Why don't we give her a gun and put her in front of 9 enemy combatants? But he phrased it as, let's give her a gun and put her in front of 9 gun barrels. But it's obvious what he meant about like, oh, Trump's literally going to execute this woman with a firing squad. But I think it might be a situation where the propaganda was laid on so thick, so sickly thick that it wasn't believable. And I think it's just one of those cases where the media just went too far with propaganda and no one brought it. Probably similar with what happened with the riots.
But they still said it. We knew they were
desperation.
Propaganda, but I think that puts them in a really weird position, signing over the commander-in-chief to someone who a couple of weeks ago you said was a Nazi. I couldn't believe it when he done that rally at Madison Square Gardens.
Oh, was this a Tony Hinchcliffe?
Has had so many massive events over the years. The bands that have played there, the classic fights that have happened there. But oh no, the only other thing that has ever happened there, according to the media, was Adolf Hitler.
What did you make of do you know Tony Hinchcliffe, Chris? He was the one who was saying that Puerto Rico is an island of trash. I actually quite like Tony.
Hinchcliffe. He's
fairly funny.
he's very good at what he does, but he's not. I don't think he was the comedian for that. He's a roast.
No, it was a terrible choice.
I think it would have worked if he changed Puerto Rico to Haiti in his joke.
Yeah, that's where I thought he was going.
Yeah, me too. And then when he said Puerto Rico, I'm like, oh wait, isn't that part of America?
When he said Puerto Rico, I went.
Yeah, but who cares? It blows over like everything does. Nobody gives a shit.
The watermelon carving joke he made as well.
Yeah, it was. I reckon. Well, Trump was late, wasn't he? Because he done 3 hours on Rogan. He kept them all waiting at Madison. I think that was the same day. I might have that wrong, but
I think it was a different day. But the point stands, he was late to a rally after doing Rogan, for sure.
I mean, 3 hours on Joe Rogan, then going and doing a rally. That is impressive to his fortitude.
I saw in his speech that he's done over 900 rallies. Now, he's over 70, isn't he?
He's nearly 80. He's like 78, 79.
I mean, the power and the energy and the motivation. You know, I truly believe, and I always have done, that he loves America. He loves the American people. The geezer's lost money. The geezer had the ideal life, the most beautiful wife, a lovely big family, and he's been nothing. He's been taken to court in Russian collusion, impeachment. He has had 7 odd years of hell. Now he could, he's not short of a few quid. He lost money by becoming president. And I truly believe he loves America. And I truly believe he will save America. He already has, just by winning. You know, we've got another 4 years before, hopefully. He's got another 4 years to hopefully readdress the balance a bit by, in California, you could vote even if you weren't a US citizen. That's absurd. That you could just roll. It's like me going out to America, going to California, and then just voting, and then coming back to fucking Bodia.
Well, the lucky thing is, at least California is only one state. Like, it is worth about 54 votes for the Electoral College, but it's one of those ones. It's going to go blue anyway. You know, it doesn't matter how blue it goes. It's still just going to be 54 votes for Kamala.
Well, sorry, Bartley, go on.
I was going to say, when you look at the swing states, though, and yeah, they got absolutely murked. A friend of mine was telling me that the Green Party stole enough votes from the Democrats to secure Trump a victory in Michigan, or at least was in one area or something strange like that. It might not have been Michigan. I don't know if anyone can correct me on that. He won over Georgia, Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania was looking blue when I was watching last night. So, yeah, really, really shocking, surprising results. And while people...
Go on.
So just to finish off... a lot of people say, oh, Trump's a Zionist or what have you, or Trump's not, the perfect nationalist figure. He is still a massive symbolic victory for nationalism at the end of the day. Same as Farage is, the best nationalist leader. But Reform winning 5 seats and getting 20% of the vote, it's huge.
Keep saying the N-word. Could you have to keep saying the N-word?
What one was that?
Don't worry. Carry on, mate.
No, I'm done there. That was my piece.
Well, what you've just said about California, it makes me think of what's going to carry on. I think this is what's going to happen. The likes of your sort of dyed-in-the-wall Democrats in California, who are going to be run and by Democrats who don't they don't know how to. They don't know how to plan long term. They don't know how to work resources. We know what Democrat states are like. They're shitholes. They're an absolute mess. And what's going to happen is, I think they're going to see all the Republican states getting rid of all those illegal immigrants, getting rid of all those criminals, clamping down on law and order, giving the police more money, more powers, more resources, and they're going to see, hang on a minute, they all seem to be having a great life over there. There's loads of businesses starting up. There's loads of revenue being generated. People are building houses. People are moving into houses. And people are doing well. Now, we played our commie card, while it worked. But as their shitholes continue to go down the pan, I think they're going to start realising, well, it was all right when I was a student, but now I'm paying taxes and I'm living in a bed sit with my 3 screaming kids, I might have to start reconsidering my political outlook.
I think Trump
This
has to
already
go.
happened
Sorry.
a few years back with people leaving California.
Go on.
Normal, sensible people were leaving California at such a rate that U-Haul was having trouble because all their trucks and rentals were leaving California and not going back.
There's a Led Zeppelin song called Leaving California, isn't there? No, Going to California. How things have changed.
You can imagine someone making that sort of song these days. Maybe for a bit of poverty tourism.
It's an incredible day, though. And I'll tell you this, I don't want to go back to talking about stock markets, but while the S&P is at record highs, I would look at the Russell 2000 if you're thinking about it, because small caps, that's the Russell 2000, they're going to be invigorated by this. You know, the Fed are going to cut rates, and people are going to stop saving money because the interest rates barely keep up with inflation anyway. So there's a load of money that's going to pour into the stock market, and that's when your small caps start. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to go there. Now, why was I not going to go there? Oh, the dance music.
It's gone. It's over.
Yeah, it's gone. Listen, I need a wee. Okay, take over the stream, can you, Packer? Just set Barkley off. He'll gibber for hours.
What did I miss? I was gone for 5 minutes. What did I miss?
Basically saying that Chris was saying that the blue states will probably start getting quite jealous of the red states and possibly turn more Republican when we see red states thriving after having remigration and having more success with local businesses and ventures, things to that effect. I can't remember what I said, to be honest. I'm more listening to other people than myself sometimes, like 20% others, 10% myself.
I would offer us. Go on, mate.
Oh, no, I was agreeing, but that occurs anyway. It's all reoccurring that big corporations are leaving to the point where they're leaving Democrat cities because they just are turning into third world shells. And if you're a company that runs on profit and shareholders, you don't operate in that area because it's a loss, so you leave.
It's happening to the UK countrywide.
Say again.
It's happening to the UK countrywide. I've seen many videos of millionaires talking about why they're taking their families and business out of the country. I saw some stat where I think it was on Traditional Britain Group somewhere. It was like how many millionaires have gone to or left the country, or how many millionaires, or how many people became millionaires or didn't become millionaires. We combined the two stats, and the UK had like thousands of millionaires leave it in 2023 or something crazy like that. And it's obviously not what you want going on.
Well, I was listening to all of that just to chip in on that. While the American stock markets are absolutely smashing it at the moment because of Trump's win, the European markets are just on their arse. The German economy is tanking. Germany, once one of the richest nations in the world, is tanking. Their motor industry is tanking. You know, and people will be, like you were saying, I didn't actually say it, but I just heard you say it, Barkley. Not only people, but businesses will be leaving Democrat states. Did you see that Walgreens now, Walmart have already been doing it. Walmart have been closing down their massive warehouses. You know, they're huge. You know, they're like mega stores. We haven't got anything like them in England, have we? They've been closing them down in Democrat states because they're not allowed to enforce the law. The Democrat lawmakers say as long as you don't steal over $1,000, you can't be touched. And people just go in there, fill up their basket, and walk out with it. Well, you know, you can't maintain a business like that.
That's anarchy. That's literally anarchy.
All the Democrat states, you know, they're all that lot. Your Targets, your Walmarts, your Walgreens. And Walgreens have just announced last week, I saw it, they're closing down. Walgreens is like a mega pharmacy. You know, it's like a pharmacy, but huge. They're closing them all down. They're leaving New York, not just New York City. They're leaving New York State. They're going because they're getting robbed blind. First of all, they put cages over everything. but then the thieves worked out ways to ping their little clips and that, and customers stopped going in there because, you know, everything's about shopping experience. You know, with e-commerce, it's all about the experience and customer satisfaction and all that. You go into a fucking shop where everything's in a cage, and you have to get the behind the jump to come out of a magnet to open it and stand next to you while you like read the back. You're like,
yeah.
Now fuck off. I'll just go to Amazon.
It's like buying booze from a supermarket. They've got to come and take that fucking thing off. Yeah, it's horrible.
Exactly.
Don't forget half the time it make you look like a crackhead whenever the alarm goes off.
And, you know, I know what you like. If you get one of those neodymium rare earth magnets, gaffer tape it to your wrist. When you grab the top of the bottle, that thing just pops off. You can just put it down your joggers and walk out the shop.
Oh, thanks for the tip. I'll do that tomorrow.
No, well, I know you don't need it now, but it's coming in a few years. I've watched your alcohol trajectory.
Yeah, it's getting bad. It's getting bad. What you're saying though, Chris, about what is it, like $1,000 they can't prosecute you for stealing, something like that?
Something like that. If anyone in the chat knows, let me know.
Well, there was
999.
Yes, that's the one, Packer. I think it is.
997 or something.
I saw something on Twitter. One shop, I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if it was part of a chain or whether it was just an independent, but they raised the prices of everything in their shop to the threshold. So if you wanted to buy a chocolate bar, it would cost $999, right? So if anyone steals it, then you can go for it. So that's one way around it. But like, you know, and the way it works is you would take it to the counter and then they would charge you the real price, you know, at the counter. They'd give you a discount or something. But officially, all the prices were at the threshold of what's legal to steal. That's one way around it. But in a civilized society, you shouldn't have to do stupid things like that.
No, I mean, it's very much like what Gavin Bobby says is going to happen in like the likes of Rotherham, etc. You know, these enclaves where no whites allowed and no go zones. Well, no go zones includes plumbers, carpenters, locksmiths, you know, and they will end up, what's Gavin Bobby's famous statement? They'll end up stewing in their own shit. And, you know, if you've got a shop somewhere, like let's start with a corner shop. Well, it gets robbed every day. Right, close that down. Then it's going to be the local, you know, like the local co-op, you know, the next step up. But that gets robbed blind. That gets shut down. Then the local Sainsbury's. I'm not supporting corporations here, but what I'm saying is, in Democrat states, much like the whole of England, these businesses are just going to leave, and they are. It's actually happening. Walmart, Target, Walgreens, they've all closed down. Multiple. I'll see if I can get some numbers while someone else is talking. But over the next 4 years, as those Republican states, I honestly think it's going to be like almost like a Stepford Wives kind of thing, but in a nice way. Like gardens are going to be kept, and you know, American flag, stars and stripes are going to be put on people's roofs again, and places will be nice, and crime will be dealt with. You know, all those Democrat fucking not attorney generals, district attorneys, all Soros funded campaigns. They don't even arrest. First of all, they barely arrest anyone, the police, because it's an absolute waste of time. Loads of paperwork. They get to court, and the attorney looks at it and says, "Nah, go on, no bail. You can go now," and that's it. I mean, I think there will be a slow kind of ideological transition. There's only so long you can sit in shit and looking at the people having a nice champagne breakfast and go, "I know we're right." You know, nah, they'll and it'll be hilarious when all the people in the Republican states go, "Oh no, but no, you're not coming in." Where are you coming from? California? No, you made it. Go on, you go sit back in there. 42, I don't know if you were at the beginning. I got your very lovely email. I won't respond to it in public, but amazing. Thank you for sending that. I'll reply to you via email.
Can I say, I know it's very optimistic and
see you later, Barrett. Look after yourself and you enjoy the good news. Sorry, Dan, go on, son.
That's all right. You interrupt me all the time. It's okay. Never mind. So it's really good what's happening in America. We're all feeling good. 2016 energy and all of this. But do you not feel, and I don't want to bring the mood down, but does anyone not feel a sense of disparity? Like, you see what's going on over there and the optimism that people have, and then you look at our country and I guess Europe in general. Chris mentioned the stock market in Europe before, but I think that's just a signal of how things are here in general. It's so depressing here. Look what's going on over there and what's going on here. It's so bad.
But I think America has such a world dominance. I think that
trickle down effect. You think? Yes.
Yeah, to an extent. As the effect that Trump had on Europe with his first term, I think it will only embolden the right in Europe. I don't think Macron's going to win next time. I know their political system is rigged to stop radicals from taking over, but France is such a shithole, most of it now. You've got your woman at your what's her name in Italy. Yeah, I mean, yes, she hasn't carried out everything she said she would, but that's politics. You have to play the game to get voted in. I think Le Pen will win the next French election. The AfD in Germany is absolutely flying. Sweden are remigrating people. The Social Democrats in Sweden are chucking people out. I mean, when Sweden has had enough, and I know it sounds a bit coarse because I'm out here. I mean, let's not forget I live in a commie country in name only. Bless you, I'm a guest here. Don't chuck me out. I love it. But England is the one. Britain is the one that's trailing far behind. They've just put a communist government in place.
Do you know? I was sorry to interrupt you, Chris. Well, actually, I'm not sorry because you do.
You always interrupt me.
So I saw something that Keir Starmer said the other day, and it was about the European Court of Human Rights, something like that. And he said, we're not going to leave because we believe in human rights, blah, blah, blah. And, people like Farage and Reform, they say we have to leave this court because then we can legally deport people en masse. Like that's what you have to do. And I have to be skeptical about it. So Keir Starmer refuses to leave. Okay, that's what you'd expect from him because he's a traitor, clearly. But what if, just say, you decided to deport people while still being in that thing? What are they going to do about it? I just don't like. I think we're entering into an era right now of might is right in a way, and Trump signifies this to some degree. But what if you just do what you want and pay no attention to these ridiculous fake courts and fake contracts that people are signed up to? What
like Hungary?
Yeah, like Hungary are doing whatever they want, and they're part of the EU. Exactly. Viktor Orban, he's not bending over for anybody. He's doing whatever he wants, and nothing's happening. People say, kick them out of the EU, do this, do that. What?
Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I'm in full support of Viktor Orban. I think it's incredible. Incentivizing marriage, incentivizing buying a house, incentivizing childbirth. It just makes sense to do that rather than feel the need to bring people from a completely different culture, values, traditions into your nation, of course. But if you notice, Viktor Orban is looking to set up some kind of group now because he knows what's coming, and it will be trade sanctions. That's what the EU will do. They'll start, it will be trade sanctions. And when people stop trading with you, you're kind of in trouble. They've only got to take out something like you can't have any superconductors. Well, then I'm playing devil's advocate a bit here deliberately.
Sure, yeah.
But then you go into kind of a technological black hole. Do you know what I mean? If you can't get superconductors or simple things like, things like salt, you'll be surprised how much if a country can't get salt, it goes down the pan. There's a famous story or parable, I think, where a king. Someone in the chat might know, but one of the king's men done a deal with someone, and it like some little elf or something, European fairy story, and he said something like, "All I want from you is all your salt," and he's like, "It's only salt, isn't it?" But of course, he didn't realise how much effect that had on all the food and loads of other things like curing meats and things. And so I think that's why Orban is now looking to set up this group. If anyone in the chat knows what it's called, I can't remember off.
Is it like an alternative to the European Union? Because that's something
Sorry,
that
Johnny, I was up most of the night and I'm absolutely buzzing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, superconductors, amazing.
I knew you were wrong, but I was polite enough not to correct you. But yeah, the AFD is promoting something similar where they're not looking to have be in the European Union. They want to set up like a parallel European Union, which is based on what it should have been. Just having better trade links and deals between different European countries, and not you are going to have mass migration and you do not have a choice. And it's going to be across the EU. You're going to take this quota of refugees and you're paying 350 million a year to be a member. So we can just screw you over, basically.
So
fortunately, he wakes up this morning in a position where there is quite a large country in the Western world that will deal with him, regardless of what Western Europe does. Yeah.
Woodlander said it's not an issue when you're self-sufficient. Yeah, but there's certain resources that you can't have. That there's certain things in your nation that you haven't got. You can be self-sufficient and go back to a more simple time perhaps, but things like technology, you're fucked if you can't get semiconductors. You're fucked if you can't get hold of cobalt. The people in the EU will just go to their big brains. I mean, I'm sure they employ a couple of them with our taxpayers' money, and say, what 4 things could we impose embargoes, trade embargoes on Hungary that will absolutely stifle their technological progress. And if you stifle technological progress, you stifle all business progress.
Well, it's one of those situations where they'll surely start looking to other parts of the world. If the EU are going to try and do them over for, say, semiconductors, Russia produces semiconductors. They've got their own, I think it's a lithographs, what they're called, those billion-dollar machines. They'd be forced to start trading with Russia instead, or possibly go to America if America was willing.
Nice to see you rise to the right. Really nice to see you. Hello, Wolfie. But the thing about that is then there's other issues with the EU. I'm not. Look, I would love the whole of Europe to be operating like Hungary. I absolutely would. But they're a small country, and maybe that would be their out. I mean, they would have to fully decouple from Europe in terms of trade, and it's not just we can't get superconductors, semiconductors. Why do I keep saying super? We can't get them, but it won't just be that. It'll be loads of other stuff, and then every other European nation will be told don't trade with Hungary. So it's all very well, but then Hungary will have to go halfway around the world to get something that used to just be driven over the border. Do you know what I mean? From like Belgium or something, which is going to cost them a fortune in freight costs.
Well, yeah, but that's the weird thing, Chris. Is somehow these days that doesn't seem to matter.
What freight costs?
I know it does, because otherwise it's just not fucking logical. But for some reason these days, it makes no fucking odds that the plastic that we can't get rid of goes on a boat and goes to India. And the television that you buy gets dug out of a hole in the ground in Africa and assembled in Asia and then put on a boat and floated here. None of that matters.
Well, what all the cost of and the freight?
Yeah, none of it matters. Because you go and buy a television and it's 200 quid. And it's amazing. It's connected to the internet and it does everything.
It is absolute madness. That when I see those gardenistas, you go around their house, they've got 5 different colour boxes taking up all the room in their kitchen, and every time they eat, it's an half-hour job afterwards washing boxes and things to put in these little boxes. And it's like a family ritual. Come on, Elizabeth, it's your turn to do the yellow box, and their kids are just sitting there getting brain damaged by their mad parents. And full well that when all those boxes get taken away, they all just get chucked in landfill somewhere. No, you done your bit. Well done. Absolute jokes. We've got another super chat to have a look at. Thank you very much. It has been quiet on Trump night. Peter Benton's on the firm. Nice one, Pedro. Lovely to have you on the firm. I'd like to thank everyone who's on the firm as well. The members, I don't thank you enough. You know, the what is it? What are they, Packer, that I don't do that I should? The members only streams. Yeah. They are so elite. They are so exclusive. The members only streams that you're promised when you become a member.
They're on a par with books released at this point.
Oh, I had my first novel out when I was 24 and it sold 9,000 copies.
What was it about?
It was about a couple of blokes, a true story about a couple of blokes who grew weed and took a load of sulfate. Lars has been on the firm for 46 months. No, he hasn't. He's been on the firm for a lot longer than that. Nice one, Lars. Look at that. Just as I said it came up. Thank you, Lars. Much appreciated. All right, let's get rid of these two and get some new people in. Packer, thank you very much for your... have you got anything else you'd like to say about the whole Trump thing before you go?
I'm very happy. Other than that, nothing, of course.
Imagine waking up to a Kamala victory and not only knowing...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Imagine how awful that would have been.
Well, that's how I started the stream.
Yeah. You said it earlier, and that's what we've got to bear in mind here. However much you think it doesn't matter, imagine how bad it would have been for the West.
Yeah, shocking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would have emboldened Starmer. Starmer would have been over there that day. All commies together.
Oh, Jesus. He would have been wanking himself off. Oh, my God. The first black Indian Pidgeot woman president. Amazing.
She's
you know, anything. Packer, can I ask you, am I wrong to assume that you've been on the carnivore diet recently?
Yeah.
I am wrong to assume that.
No, you are right to assume that.
Oh, I am right to assume. Okay, so how's it been? Because I'm curious. Because you look good.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm not strict. I'm not like some people are just beef and water. I'm not that.
Right.
I am about 95% meat.
And what else? What's the 5%?
That's what my girlfriend says about me.
So there's that for a start.
Right, I was going to say beef and beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, we talked to Packer about this a lot. Go on, Packer, give him the full story. You've been on it for about 3 years. You only eat animal
No. I've been on it less than 2 years, but it is a year and a half, more than probably somewhere to 1.5 years, 2 years. But I got on the diet originally because I had a bad hip, and my other hip was starting to hurt, and a knee was starting to hurt. So instead of going to the doctor, like a reasonable human adult, like any bloke, I started researching things on Google.
Of course.
And found out that seed oils are bad for you.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I know. Who knew that a thing that was invented to oil farm machinery might not be a good substance to put into yourself?
Something you can literally power a diesel vehicle with.
Weird.
Powers you as well. Powers
all that shit that you put on the back of tractors that the tractor makes spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just wanted something cheap to keep that spinning. So they had all this, so they seed oil, right? Someone worked out you could put that in yourself and cook with it and whatever, and we've been doing that for not very long. But apparently it has a really bad detrimental effect on your joints.
Well, it's good that RFK, he hates seed oils as well. He's very against them. So it's
this brings us back to tonight's topic. Yeah. I think he has assembled a fairly reasonable team this time. RFK and Tulsi and Vance, I think, is pretty good.
And Musk. I'm a little bit...
That'd be if Musk comes in and sweeps it clean, that would be hilarious.
Oh, without a doubt, Musk is part of that government. I really think so, but not officially. But they're best mates now, without a doubt. I'm a little bit gutted that Trump and Bannon had a falling out. I mean, Bannon has done amazing work for the MAGA movement. The War Room is one of the most watched podcasts in the world. It gets more views than I think most of the American mainstream media put together. I love the War Room. I love Steve Bannon. Bannon got Trump elected the first time round, and to an extent, I think he did this time. But, you know, they locked him up. He only got out of prison about a week ago, made an amazing speech. He was in a federal prison. He was teaching them civics. They got him teaching the convicts. And he worked out what the whole prison system was about. But I wish that Bannon's a political genius, as far as I'm concerned.
I like Bannon as well. I think people assume that Trump is Bannon, and for me, I wish he was, but he's not. You know, I like Bannon a lot. In fact, everything that the left accused Trump of being, all these things they'd say about him, if he was actually all of those things, he'd be the greatest guy that's ever lived. I mean, clearly, but that's
I mean, I am saying this in a slightly humorous way, but it's also true. I mean, if Bannon had a shave and took off his barber jacket occasionally, he'd make an amazing president.
I tell you what, you're not wrong there, and that might sound a bit shallow to people, but that is right. If you look like a slob, people will perceive you as a slob. It's just the way it is. Like, image matters. He could do so much more than what he's doing right now.
And I also think that he's not. I think he knows that that's not his role. You know, he told Trump what to run on in 2016. And he said, this, and that. Just stick with those three things. And he said, and you'll win. And that's what happened. But listen, let's not forget that Steve Bannon was a political prisoner. That just happened under this commie Democrat party. They locked him up as a political prisoner. He hadn't done anything wrong. It was all illegal. The whole thing was illegal. It was just ridiculous. And I tell you what, I hope that Trump does some of the things he promised. All those people that need taken to court, the people that took him to court, the people that lied about him, the people that set up court cases knowing that they didn't let certain evidence be shown and all that. Those people need to be able to account. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, needs to be able to account. Fauci needs to be able to account. These people lied. All the people that suppressed the Biden laptop, they all need to be able to account. You can't just let them get away with it because, well, that makes next time not look so bad. Trump also needs to reinvestigate all the cheating from the previous election as well. Now he's got the power to do that.
I would say Trump has 4 years. He's only got 4 years. He's not going to get another 4. He really has to do a lot this time to change America. Obviously, the demographic change situation in America is far worse than it is in Britain. I was saying to people at my work, you know, Trump, if Kamala wins this election, it's a one-party state. It's Democrats forever from now on. Trump's got in. He's got one chance to change it. If he doesn't get things fixed up by 2028, it's that's going to be it for America. It's a similar situation.
No, it's not because that's when JD Vance takes over.
Of course. But if Trump didn't get in, well, yeah, I do really like JD Vance. He comes across very human. I watched him and Trump on Joe Rogan.
I thought Vance done better out of the two of them because he doesn't have the weave. I mean, I do a bit of the weave when I'm telling stories, but I'm not standing for president.
Well, here's the thing, Chris. Sorry to interrupt, but
thank you, Emma. I'll come back to that.
Part of the reason why Trump is so popular is not just because you see he weaves a lot, and that is true. And this is my kind of negative against Vance. People love Trump because he's also incredibly memeable, and he's you can do impressions of him, and he's likable, and he's funny. Vance is more of a typical politician. You know, he's very slick. He says he can read a speech very well.
I don't agree with you, Dan.
I think you will in the future when you realize once Trump is done after these 4 years, and by the way, 78, 79, he's not young. I think once Trump's out the way and you get back to, we're back to politicians now. then I think you'll notice the difference. But
he's a very human politician, I would say.
He's very good. He's very good, but I still think that is it could be an issue going forward. That's all I'm saying.
I think
Trump is a one in a million character.
I think Vance is clever enough to know to take the mantle from Trump in 4 years. He will need to become a bit more memeable. And I mean that. I mean, the great meme war of 2016, I sometimes question how much effect it really had. But I think, you know, it sustained the MAGA movement. It did sustain the MAGA movement, which is separate from Trump's supporters, I think.
It had a significant cultural impact.
Him, haven't they? The Democrats, meme-wise, about something he said or allegedly said or done. Have they not?
Eh? I missed the first.
Have they not already had a pop at him that he's just like?
He disagreed with something Trump said about 4 years ago, and when questioned about it, he went, "Yeah, I changed my mind."
Well, no, did he call him a Nazi? Isn't that what he said?
That's it. Yeah, and then he sits there and says, "But then I looked into it and realised that I'd been lied to, like everyone else."
Go. I mean, I thought he was great on Rogan. Was it him or Rogan who told the story about he said his daughter was 2 years at the time, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been a crash helmet or something, or a cake or something, and it fell onto the floor, and his 2-year-old daughter went, "Shit." And like you know, I know swearing's nothing, but on that Joe Rogan podcast, Vance did a few times. He just went, "They're bullshitting." He said it's bullshit, and it pisses me off. And I thought this is more your Kennedy, your Ted Cruz, your Josh Hawley, those kind of strong. Let's not fuck about. Let's just do what needs doing. Dan, I'm really interested in why you seem to have. I'm not saying you're wrong, of course. It's just different opinion, but you seem suspicious of JD Vance.
I'm not going to say that he's a snake in the grass or anything. I'm not going to cast judgment.
Well, you have to say it.
No. But I will say a few years ago, he said that Trump was America's Hitler. That's a quote from him, right? And he's funded by Peter Thiel, who's a tech billionaire, right?
I've got nothing wrong with, but Peter Thiel also
that's a PayPal guy, isn't it?
That's absolutely fine. Look, I'm just laying this out. That's absolutely fine if you don't care. That's fine. Dan, all I'm saying, Chris, let me finish, please. Let me finish, Chris. So what I'm saying is that he has, you know, when you look at Obama, he was a nobody and then he became president, right? What was he, a senator for 4 years or something? And then he was suddenly the president of the United States. JD Vance has a similar kind of rags to riches kind of story. And look, I'm not saying that I'm right here. I'm not casting judgment, but I think that he is a very slick operator. He's clearly got very rich people backing him, and he's changed his position radically from very recently. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen naturally. I'm not saying he's a liar, but it's just something to look out for. That's
Daniel, on a policy level, what has he changed?
I'm not really talking about policy. That's not what I'm saying. It's more like, okay, what is this guy more groomable for the establishment than Trump? And I think anyone is really. But if Trump leaves and he becomes president, would he be the same as Trump as in his fight, in his character, or would he be more able to manipulate? That's all I'm looking at.
Well, hang on. Able to manipulate or able to be manipulated?
Yeah, sorry, able to be manipulated by the state.
You know what? I think the geezer's only about 40 or something, isn't he? And
that's true.
I think he's got a lot to learn. I haven't got a problem with people having money behind them. And as we said before, like when we used to say, Dan, 6 years ago, where's the right-wing billionaires? And like Elon Musk said, he said 49 billion wasn't the cost of Twitter. It was the cost of saving free speech. It's a great point. And Peter Thiel is a successful entrepreneur. And, you know, if American politics is a lot about money. It's a lot about lobbying. And so
Unfortunately, yes, it is. Yeah, and that's the reality of it, and that's the situation. So I can't really change that. But
it's like someone said to me today. I think it might have been the niggler in the chat. Oh, Billy, who I love to death, obviously, Bill. I think old Pag's got it wrong the other day. I think you were supporting what he said. He kicked off a bit, didn't he? But I don't know the pre-story, so I'll have to find out off you one day. But it's like Bill said. Hang on, mate. Hang on. Let me get this one out because I've been trying for so long. I think it was Bill said to me he wouldn't invest in Palantir because of thingy carps. I can't remember exactly what he said now because that bastard Packer interrupted me. But I would rather be an ally of nations who are using Palantir software on the battlefield than the nations that aren't, because the American military is using Palantir now, and that has upscaled their war abilities by about 50 times. And I'll show you how I'll be able to prove this to you without there needing to be a war. Palantir also just got a contract with the NHS, right? I'm going to have to keep this. This is almost an impossible task I'm about to give myself, but I'm going to try and tell you what Palantir do. Palantir don't sell a product. It's not like Nvidia, who sell hardware, like, semiconductors, superconductors. It's not that they don't sell apples. What they sell is solutions. So you go to them and you say, right, this is my business. We've got 10,000, we've got 100,000 staff. We do this, and this. What can you do? And then Palantir, basically, they're data management. They're a data management company. They take all your data from everywhere they can. Who works what hours, where are they, what's driven where, all the data they can find, and they process it using it makes ChatGPT look like a fucking abacus. They process it on very advanced AI, and then they come back to you and they say, you need half the staff you've got. By giving your people meetings at 1:00, you're losing 20 minutes off of every single staff member. And when you've got 100,000, that adds up, because the meetings are at 1:00, but they take dinner at 12, so they're always late. And we've just worked that out. And slowly they make businesses more efficient. They make the war machine more efficient. And that might sound horrible. I made a video the other day. Palantir is a patriot company. He said it many times. He says, we will make it so that we're not having Americans kidnapped and then people making demands. If anyone anywhere on the planet touches an American citizen, we will rain merry hell down upon them. We will seize their assets and we will cause them problems for generations. And I'm like, shit hot. That's exactly how it should be. If you've got people abroad and they're being tied up and put in fucking dungeons and being money demanded, no, you blow them up. You get a drone above them. Poof. I'm fucking serious. You don't kidnap people. You don't do that. That's someone's life. They got a family back home who are terrified, demanding money on the back of someone's life. You got the technology, you got the software, you got the hardware. You sort it out. No, and it even said it. Carp even said it on an interview the other day. He said, "Oh, what do they do now? That when we'll take it to the UN and we'll write a memorandum." So they said, "Well, what's a sheet of paper going to do to help someone?" He says, "No." He says, "We kill them." And I was like, "Yeah, but that is what you should do if you're at war and people are trying to what's the word when you like when you take money? It doesn't matter. You get my point.
Ransom.
Pardon? Extortion was the word I'm looking at. If people are kidnapping people to extort your government, no, I'm not having it. If I was Prime Minister, I'd say, right, Palantir, find out where they are, right, okay, How do we destroy them immediately? And Carper uses that word. He says we destroy them. We should destroy these people, and I agree with him. I mean, war's not a nice thing, but I'd rather be on the side of that's got that kind of technology that can sort it out. Now, this is what I was meant to say, how I can prove it to you without there being a war. The NHS have just signed a contract with Palantir, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like 500 million or something. Now, the NHS is run like the worst company in the world because middle management and upper management know they can bleed taxpayers dry. Not only is it got limited resources but unlimited usage, because anyone can walk into England and go into the NHS A&E and get treated. Anyone. It's ridiculous. But you watch what Palantir does. It will go through all those numbers. It will go through all those beds. It will go through all that fucking pen pushing, all that paperwork. And it will come out at the end and it will say something like, you've overemployed to about 40%. You don't need to do all this. You're spending 4 times as much on drugs as you need to. Blah, blah, blah. Last year you had, I used to buy out of date NHS drugs off of the dark web. Out of date drugs like diazepam, nitrazepam. And it was, out of date. It says on it, NHS, best before. That shouldn't happen. All you got to do is plan it better. And you watch. I guarantee that old Sir Neil is going to have a real problem on his hands when that Palantir report comes through. He's either going to have to employ what Palantir has said, or keep it on the low. Keep it on the QT because it's just not required. It's overstaffed by about 70%. And
Chris, I've got to stop you here. Because I disagree entirely. You are referring to the NHS. The correct terminology is our NHS.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, Dan.
You are terrible.
Hey, I'll go outside on Thursday and do that.
There you go.
My mate's dad brought like a ethnic drum go along with the NHS cheering.
What kind of organisation needs propaganda like that? Okay, Thursday, 7 o'clock, everyone go outside and bang your pots and pans. You know that the last people to do that was in the Cultural Revolution in fucking China because they wanted to stop the sparrows from landing. So they could kill them all because they were eating the grains.
Mate, it's fucking retarded. So I remember when that happened.
Dan, sorry, mate. Sorry, Dan. I know I always do, but I'm just proving your point that I do interrupt you. The point is, please, I beg everyone who's watching this, keep an eye on what happens with the NHS and that Palantir contract, because it's either it's being run like a fucking joke, or you'll never hear about it again. And my guess it'll be the latter, and they'll just keep it running like a joke because it makes loads of money for the government. And it's just another way, which is what all governments do, of taking public money and putting it into private pockets. That's what the NHS does. The NHS, it's basic medicine to prevent, not treat, prevent. Nah, with the NHS, you have to get sick and then you go in there half dead and it costs a fucking fortune then. Or you can sit in that bed for 25 weeks. We'll have 5 nurses working on you every day. No, that's not how a national health service should work. A national health service should work by educating people what they should be doing. Don't sit on your arse all day. Do some fucking exercise. Try eating a bit better. Have you ever considered drinking water? That's what it should really be doing. But it doesn't.
I've got a pretty easy example of how the NHS is like a very easy example of how inefficient it was or is. I broke my wrist. Waited 5 hours, got an x-ray. Oh, yeah, it's broken. Oh, shit, that's not good. They give me a really cheap crap cast for it, which probably didn't help at all. They call me in for another appointment, wait 1 hour, speak to some doctors for 20 minutes. It's like, yeah, here's a sheet of paper with some hand exercises you can do for recovery. You could send me a PDF and an email. Save 20 minutes, save me like 2 hours getting to and from the hospital and like 30 quid on taxis. That's just one easy example. We can hope the NHS gets better, but will they want Palantir if it's going to, lose out on their private funds?
Well, I can't work out why they've even done it.
It might be Labour is trying to get one big major win or so. Oh, look how great the NHS has become under Labour. It's like, well, an American's done it for you with a private company.
Well, it might be. This wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And this is actually my position on it. It will become more efficient. More lives will be saved in less time and with less money. But what happens to that money saved? We won't get reduced taxes. That won't go to people on welfare or people who need it. That will disappear into the government. That's what I think. So, yeah. Oh, look what Palantir's done. Where the NHS has become this amazing. If the NHS was a private business, it would have died before it had even started. I mean, it's just a fucking joke. But I mean that. If you'd have outlined the NHS as a business plan, anyone who was investing would look at it and go, "What? What is this? Are you serious about this? This is what?" So my problem is it will, because I trust Palantir. In terms of their software working, and the solutions they provide, the NHS will become a lot more efficient. I don't think they'll take on all their advice because it will expose government, but it's where the savings will go. That's what bothers me. That should go back. That should go straight back to taxpayers.
Well, you say that, and I agree, but it won't, because the people that control this type of thing are just not interested in that. Carl Benjamin Sargon, he posted something last week about the NHS, and I replied. I said, the NHS is almost as big of a money laundering scheme as my local Turkish barbershop, and I think that's the truth. It is the truth, because the amount of money that the NHS gets and the service doesn't improve. In fact, it diminishes over time. It gets worse. People are getting paid off left, right, and center. And I think, Chris, you and I talked about this with Hugh actually back in the day. We were talking about when the welfare state collapses, which it will, because it is unsustainable. It's going to collapse.
It is collapsing, but
in real time it is. But when that final judgment day comes, bloody hell! I mean, what are you going to deal with then? This country is essentially done for at that point, and then
what have they already done to try and mitigate it? What's the retirement age in the UK now? It's something like
67, 68 now, isn't it?
No, I think it's a lot more. I might be wrong. Can anyone in the chat know what's the retirement age?
My dad,
66 years old.
Yeah, my dad just turned 66 and he's just started getting his pension now. So
66 years of your life. Get out.
And that'll go up as well.
And then, right, so you work. I mean, time is all you've got, right? You work. You get paid, but you have to pay ridiculous amounts of tax on that. And then you're left with what you've got after paying your tax. And then you go and buy something, but that's got value added tax on it at 20%. So you're being taxed another 20% of your wages. Now you've already done 40, but basic rate of income tax is 20%, and then you're paying another 20% VAT. If you're a corporation, you're also paying corporation tax, which is I think about 20% at the moment, but I think they're talking about putting that up. So now if you're a corporation, you're paying that as well. So that's now 60% of your money gone. It's just a fucking joke. And then there's inflation, which is just taxed by another name. Inflation is a tax. What do? They make your money worth less. Thanks. Thanks for that. 60. And that's when you've got, hang on, what's the retirement age?
66.
66.
For men.
And what, and 64 or something for women?
I'm not sure, but
I think it said for men and women. It's 66 for both.
Oh, right. So they used to be different.
I'm sure when I was younger it was different. Also, I might just be getting this completely wrong because I'm an old man now, but I'm sure that retirement age used to be something like when I was really young, like 60 or something. Or there was a
65 for men and it was 60 for women.
60.
That's
Look
what
at
it
that.
was. 65 for men and 60 for women. But women fought for equality, so now they get to retire at the same time as men.
My uncle's actually just retired at 60, but the way he did it was he sold off his really beautiful detached house in the countryside with a massive field with horses behind it, so his children, his grandkid, could inherit a fucking static home.
Brilliant.
Boom.
But-
what does
yeah, but
academic
then-
agent call that? The boomer.
But then
the
there's
boomer
capital
manifesto?
gains tax on that. You work all your fucking life so that your kids can have a decent future. No, the government want that. And capital gains is fucking massive. They take about 40% off you. It's
Is that
just
a profit or what you take out? Do we just
no.
take the 40% from the profit margin?
If you sell your house, and I think it's something like I can't remember what the what's the word called?
Brackets are?
No, the threshold. Yeah, I don't know what the threshold is, but I think once you hit a certain threshold, and it's not a lot, it's something like $500,000 or something. When you sell that, when that money is realised, you've got to pay capital gains on that. But I think Starmer's lot are looking at you paying capital gains on unrealised gains,
Which is the most retarded thing I've ever heard of, by the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Because,
surprised. If
look, I open up my fucking Trading View portfolio every morning, and it's up or down 5%. You want me to pay tax on that? What? It's not real money, pal. It's fake.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, the plan obviously is you don't cash in your investments until you stop working, because if you're working and you're earning your low tax bracket, say 55 grand a year, basic rate of 20%, right? But if you sell shares and then you go into the higher rate, you're then paying 40% on your original earnings as well as your the shares. It's just fucking madness. I don't know how we got into taxes. It's not my specialist area. I think
the American Revolution was fought over tax, wasn't it? Really,
it was a 3% tax.
Yeah,
a 3%
tea,
tax. 3% tax on tea. Overthrew the British Empire.
They couldn't handle it. No.
And now it's like farmers actually just getting like farmers are being basically so forced, like, your next children, your next generation, they're not going to have to farm. They're going to have to sell it. They're going to tax for selling it as well. And you have to pay off, you're going to basically have to sell your heritage, generations of family farms, a culture that's being produced, the pride of your family, the pride of your bloodline. Because Keir Starmer is saying, so too many rich people are taking the mick a little bit with land. Well, why didn't you go and at least do some sort of survey of the land to make sure we actually are farming, and then do it based on, are they doing anything with the lands being put to use? Because land is being put to use, producing goods, maybe that shouldn't be taxed.
Yeah.
Maybe I can understand if someone is like a billionaire taking the piss. Not that though.
It's so vulgar. The idea, there's something really wholesome about building a legacy for your children. There's something wholesome about that. And remember when we had, what's his name on, Redneck? Oh, I can't remember his name. Redneck Ben, was it? He's been on this channel a few times. He originally started reviewing cigarettes, and I took the piss out of him, and we ended up getting him on. But his farm has been in his family for like 5 generations, since the fucking the American Dust Bowl. They survived all that. They didn't do the march down from Oklahoma to California. They sat it out when there was windstorms that took the skin off your face. And, they want to start taxing that sort of thing. Oh, well, it's only your family. That shows you how much those commie bastard leftists don't think about family. Oh, it's only your mum and dad and your granddad and great granddad who broke their backs working till they were 80 so that they could, continue their legacy and their family, have something to work with. No, we're having that now. We're having 50% of that now. Why? Well, we got immigrants' fucking hotel bills to pay, you cheeky cunt. Are you some kind of racist or something?
It's
But
not
there's
just
no-
the
there's no
hotels that
money
are
in
with
farming
slums
land
like in
now.
Clanwit.
Whoa, one at a time. Who wants to go?
Come on, Dan.
I'll have a go. Yeah, but they said that they're going to start essentially. Yeah, we're going to start bringing the end to the migrant hotels. We're going to make the backlog more efficient to go through. When they say we just stop using hotels, they're going to just start making. I don't know if you guys have seen in Ireland, but it's like drone footage of these new migrant camps where they're all living in like containers and stuff like that. And you can see that they've got like 400 containers, like literally just being able to import like 1,600 illegal immigrants for the cheapest prices possible. That's all that's going to be. Because where's the social?
Slow down a bit, Barks.
Because where's the social housing going to come from? We're not going to build that. Or maybe we'll actually because they're making some dodgy little contracts on the sides.
Barclay, there's a reason they actually don't want to put them in hotels. They want to put them in cargo containers or get a couple of angle grinders, cut a couple of windows in, because they don't want them happy. They want them unhappy. They want them going around causing trouble, smashing the place up. And I don't say that to be hyperbolic. That's what communism's about. They want to destroy England. But they don't want those. They don't want the immigrants in those hotels. Just no, this is all right. This is fine. No, they want them living in what you just outlined as a apocalyptic fucking. You see them at shipping yards, don't you? Like Felixstowe, all those containers. You can imagine them all like swinging around on like ropes and that to get to each other one, and like having pulley systems to move like stolen food up and down. But it will happen. And that's when they'll be like, what have they done? They've brought us over here. They've got us living in this dystopian hellhole. No, let's just go and rob all their houses and move into them.
These places are hotbeds of crime as well. I know it comes as a surprise to no one, but I spoke to a security guard, and this guy was telling the truth. Like, I did confirm properly. He worked at it was either the Norwich Hotel or it was the Best Western in Beaufort, which is just outside of Norwich. It's basically in Norwich. He's like, yeah, they go around smoking weed all day. And then I one day actually met the guy who told me, yeah, I'm the one he deals weed to. So I was like, oh, well, I know that for sure then. And yeah, that's what's going to be going on. Oh, Dangerfield's bride-to-be is here. It's amazing. Hello. That's what she'd be saying if he was unmuted.
Hello.
I'm streaming. I'm doing a YouTube.
Say I love you long time.
I love you long time.
See you later, love.
No, that's racist.
There was a bit of melody and rhythm to that as well. That was what he's got to practice that bit.
Up. No. Camera.
She learned.
Hey, outside.
See you later, love. Love you. Mwah. Bye.
It's bad optics.
Fucking great.
To be fair, Mrs. Packer did do that to him on Saturday.
She did actually boob me out, and she's got a fair old rat. I think I got you in a bit of trouble, didn't I? Or you did. Something happened. I knew it went a bit awkward.
No, she's all right about it.
No,
She wanted to come on.
Sound confident.
She came on. She didn't have any makeup on, so she wanted to come on because she was all done up to go out.
Nah, she looked lovely. She always does.
Everything.
Right, I'm going to go through a couple of super chats. Might encourage some other people to help me out. What have we got here? Let's go back.
By the way, I just want to say, just to interrupt. Trump has won Michigan.
Now, yeah, Dan, I've got that racked up. I'm just going to do that. Dan sent me a link. We'll get there just after this, but I'll try and keep them relatively contextual because otherwise they might say something, and we've been talking about it 10 minutes ago. People, don't forget to like the stream. It's totally free, and it really helps me. If you're interested in reading, but if you're not interested in reading, I write for people who don't like reading. So Substack, top link in the description, totally free. Go and check out some of my short stories. It would mean the world to me. They're pretty brutal. They're pretty unpleasant, but that's how I write. But they are also very funny as well. They've had over 10,000 reads now. So they're going down pretty well. Loads of comments on them. Most Substacks, unless they're named people, don't have comments on them. So go and check them out. That would mean the world to me.
I might start a Substack. I was thinking about it, but I'm not sure if that's what I should do. Well, what do you think?
Look at that. Well, everyone would love you to do a Substack.
But I don't know if I'm a writer. I mean, I'm enjoying, since I got my Twitter back.
You can do video on Substack now.
Yeah, but I'm on Twitter. The thing that I love the most is I can just call people retards and fags, and it's great. and
You can
nothing
do that
happens.
on. You can do that on Substack.
Can I? That's all I want to do.
The boss of Substack was on CNN a couple of years ago, and they said, "But it appears to us that you don't censor anyone." He said, "What about if there's misinformation?" And the CEO of Substack said, "I think misinformation is really important." He said, "Actually, probably more important than real information."
So,
and the CNN bloke was going, "Cannot compute."
done.
Yeah, no.
I'm on it.
I think misinformation is like the catch-all term now.
Man, Horus has got a Substack, which is flying, by the way. And you can imagine what Horus is writing about. And I'll tell you this
Yeah,
for
I can
now.
imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. For sure.
I'll tell you now, Substack has got a very strong right-leaning community going on there. There's a lot of leftists on there who write about vampires and she-he males and that. But there's a lot of nationalism, a lot of patriotism. There's a lot of it. And like I say, Horus's one's flying, not quite as big as mine, but I have been on there a lot longer. And
if Horace is listening, just jump on and join us right now. That's what you should do.
There is
you're about here. I'll send him a thing on Telegram.
Do
it. Dr. Edward Dutton did a really good piece recently. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like
Eddie Dutton, please. We don't say Dr. Edward Dutton. He's a professor now, by the way, but Teddy Dutton.
Teddy Dutton. So Teddy Dutton, he did a really good piece recently. I can't remember what it was. It was like the dawn of the new Britain or something like that. Basically trying to say how Tony Blair's induction was basically our equivalent of a Khmer Rouge or Khmer Rouge. I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering the enunciation. Khmer Rouge. There's a free 20-minute version on YouTube, but if you go on his Substack and you pay for it, you can get the full 1-hour version. But if you have a Substack account, you can get one free choice of subscription content if you download the app, and that's what I did to watch it. It was so worth it. Make a new account if you have to. It will be worth it. It feels a little bit like
not all. By the way, people, not all Substacks are monetized. Mine's free. There is an option to donate, but you can read it all for free. I only set it up really to help promote my novel, but it's just become a success story in its own right. I love Substack. Some of the stuff I write about. I'm writing a story at the moment about well, I don't want to give the game away, but someone becomes a bum. Like literally just a bum, like an arse. He's got 2 eyes in his arse. And he's sitting on the tube, and when the woman opposite him gets up, he looks in the bit of glass and realizes that he's got no legs, head, body, arms, or anything. And it's about him negotiating his way through London, being just a bum. It's fucking sick as hell, man. It's so funny. But you can write what you want on there. They don't censor you. As far as I'm concerned, it's like BitChute. Unless it's illegal, they don't censor you.
I was going to say, there is a certain level of hype among nationalism at the moment. Obviously with reform, that gave us a big boost. And now with Trump, we might be ushering in the second coming of 2016. The main issue I find is that nationalist content has really taken a dive in quality. Like I'm not being funny, but Ethan Winstanley, not to name names or anything, but the content that guy makes is just absolute gack. And that's because I grew up in a generation with On the Offensive and the Iconoclast, and to a lesser degree Dangerfield. Not talk about consumption of content, but quality. At least having Substacks, that would at least sort of retain that, and you'd be able to upload videos on then. Dan, I think very well if you start doing videos again, you're not going to be short of an audience. You can have that paid subscription model on there. People are going to be paying for it out the arse pretty much. And it would be worthwhile content. It would be someone who's producing good quality stuff. You can do it. And it will give a better alternative to people like Ethan Winstanley and a few others of that similar nature. It's like 3-minute rage porn. Oh my God, did you see what happened in Birmingham? Imagine if the races were reversed. It's just gack.
Yeah.
Baz, I don't know what that means. What is he using for fresh breath, Chris? What this vape? I don't know what that means, Baz, but nice to see her. It's really nice to see Rise of the Right back here. He's probably here for Dan, But it's lovely to see you, mate. Hope you and yours are doing well. Hello, Ellie. Hello, Pizzle. I've got me. What are they called? Selfie. I've got my selfage nudies. John Palmer wants some gay sex on the screen. I mean, he's usually a good lad, JP. Hello, Ashley. Nice to see you. There's some predictor that Trump will be killed and Vance. I think there will be more attacks on Trump's life because the media have told half the nation that he's a psychopath.
I mean, there's a radical Islam side, there's a radical left side who are going to, guns are going to be going towards him.
Toffee says Mine's the best nationalist stream. I don't know what Mine's is. So,
his stream. I've watched.
Mr. Apostrophe. Ultra Mega Essex Boy is on the firm. Right. Am I allowed to thank people for donating now, my three guests? Is that allowed now?
You have permission.
Thank you. Emma, Her Royal Highness of Glass, drops a Lady Godiva and she says, working and lurking, have it, scrub love. Now, a little treat for you, scrubs here. Glass, hang on, let me just put her into her trance. Drop. Right, she's gone now. Now, remember the bimbofication stuff? We done a stream on it where there was hypnotic. There's YouTube videos where you hypnotize your missus, lower her IQ.
Now my face associated with this.
Get her to clean your house up and dress like a tart. Right? So most OG scrubs will remember. I
looked into that further and it gets weirder than that.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. I've looked as far as it goes. Now, I'll play you a little bit of one of those early ones that I played before. Don't worry. I know this is a Trump stream, but there's only so much we can say. It's nice just to have a good time and a bit of a party. So this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. This is a bimbofication, erotic hypnosis, IQ reduction file. Trigger warning. Get your missus sitting in front of the screen now. Check this out.
This is so retarded.
It's not. It's so sexy. Anyway, here we go. There's a reason for me playing it, by the way. So we'll play about 30 seconds of it. Can you hear it?
Yes.
No.
This is...
What is this?
You couldn't hear it, Packer?
I can hear it. It's fine.
I can hear it vaguely.
All right, let me try again. Right,
Chris is trying to turn your trans down. I wouldn't listen to this.
It ain't that at all.
What the fuck?
I'm going to move it to where she's speaking a bit louder. You won't actually get the full effect.
Is this hypnotism?
Yeah, this is an IQ reduction. There's loads of them, Dan. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but a lot of people take it very seriously. But there's a reason I'm revisiting it, and it's no one in the world will guess why. If anyone guesses, I'll give them 20,000 scrub points, and that will put you well out in the lead. Although I think Rollo got 30,000 for something, so you'll be second.
Right.
Out those thoughts.
Right, listen to what she says. Right, check it.
Pushes everything else out. So good, and it's just pushing out those thoughts. And you just have to, oh my God, pushing it all out.
This is vile. Can you actually turn this shit off genuinely?
Wait, be quiet a minute.
Why is it getting so hard?
I'd actually rather listen to Storms even this.
It feels better to be
Same.
dumber.
Yeah.
So every time you just drop and
I could listen to that forever.
What the fuck was that?
Dan, it's called bimbofication.
So you play that to a woman and then they become a bimbo. Is that the point?
Yes.
Right.
But in the comments, there's loads of women who are really into it.
It's a
And
king.
it's a kink, right?
Yeah.
Now I love a bimbo. I always have. And
I disagree on this.
yeah, no problem. I you know, everyone can have their whatever they like.
We've been
But
through it.
you had a bimbo face, did you, Dan?
No, you and I have discussed this on a previous stream.
We
You've
have.
showed many clips, yes.
Gen Z thinks this is total brain rot, and all my friends who know about us all think it's the most retarded thing ever and take the piss out of it constantly. It's like an ironic joke between my
but you're
friends.
children and you don't understand sexuality, so
What
course-
generation?
No, we just think bimbo hypno is sad.
Right. Anyway, listen, this is actually quite light-hearted because Her Royal Highness Emma Drop of Glass managed to find this. Now you have to be a Patreon to listen to the full thing, so I won't put you through that. But check it out. This is from the same person who made that last one, Dolly Dreaming. Her name is. Check it.
Okay.
Check it out. You're going to like this, Scrubs. First of all, can you see it? I'll try and make it a bit bigger.
Yeah, all good.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that. Scrub. Amazing. And of course, she's talking about scrubbing the floor, but listen to some of the things she says. It's brutal. Hang on. Let me just make sure I've got the audio. You've got some of the writing is brilliant. That, you know, even if it ain't your cup of tea, but some of the writing is fantastic. So check out a little sample of Scrub from a bimbofication. It
There
says
are literally cults that groom
emojis.
children with this sort of
Scrub.
thing online.
Scrub is a bimbo.
That's not a joke.
Oh, yeah. Scrub is a bimbofication and domestication loop, which should be perfect for all fans of my Stepford series. Check it out.
Scrub. Wash the dish, scrub the floors. I'm happy when I do.
Fucking hell.
A woman's raw in the home. I scrub and bake and
Did you hear what she said? She said, "Do the dishes, scrub the floors. I'm happy
Scrub
when
the
I do
floors.
my-
Yeah,
I'm happy when I do my chores."
drip and moan. For men. Clean house. Scrub.
She sounds like Sydney Sweeney.
Behind. Can't let my thoughts rain down. Scrub. I don't want to think again. On my knees.
What the? Do people pay for this, Chris?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. I mean, I think she's got about 100. Yeah, look, you $150 a month for the basic bimbo, £7 a month. 49 paid members, but she's just one of many. But
Right.
yeah. Incredible. Scrub bimbofication. I couldn't believe it. Sent to me by the lovely Emma Glass. Thank you for that, Emma. It absolutely cracked me up. Thank you for that, Lady Godiva, as well. Dan, there's one of those hypno. It's called bimbofication and IQ reduction tape, and it's called Dumber is Funner. And so she just keeps going on and going, why? What are all these questions? When I try and think, I'm like, then it goes, dumber is funner.
Jesus Christ.
I think we've lost collective brain cells and IQ points from this whole segment. I thought this was about Trump. Now you've like just tarnished my optics. My optics, which I've spent like 2 years trying to recover with bimbofication. We're already getting messages about this.
Hang on, there sounds like there's a story there. What do you mean? You spent 2 years recovering from bimbofication. So what?
No, not that from optics. I've tried to clean my image up, be a more mature person, show that I'm not my immature younger self of a former different name. My artist name.
But serious question, Bartley. I don't understand why you're associating that with young people.
No, I think you're completely misunderstanding. My point is that this isn't the sort of association I'd want with the Kai Stevens brand. It's getting messages off of friends like, this is fucking sad what you do. But, you know, I counter-signaled it. I counter-signaled it, so I've done
Whoa, hang on a minute. What is the messaging? What? Sexuality?
Bimbofication?
Yeah, it's just
there's a generational gap here, Chris, because I understand why people would find it interesting. And I'm not saying a bimbo is not really my sort of thing, but I see why people would find them attractive. Bimbofication brainwashing is like mentally ill, and it's not. It is.
Hey, whoa.
Not that.
Do you think that those videos actually work? Do you think women come away from them with lower IQ and like start dressing as?
Might be, probably not. Probably maybe if you really believe in the placebo effect, you know, you might think
you
that would happen. That's not what I meant by mentally. I think it's a really weird thing, and where I was going with the mentally ill comment with. This is like what transgender people do. They do the exact same things with like feminization.
I'm fully aware of that, but that doesn't mean. I mean, there's a lot of those bimbofication things where they say this is for women, and they ask them. It's like the football thing. In a culture war, you don't stop doing something just because people you don't like do it, because then you're giving over territory. As Packer said, it's just a kink. Some people like it.
Whiteness.
Yeah, I did say, Bartley, there's a generation now. I don't know.
You've almost said that word for word, by the way. I think it was in the original stream. You said something that was very close to bimbofication is the last stand of like masculinity or something like that, or traditionalism. It was something very similar to that.
Plastic African, lovely to see you.
Sorry, Chris, can I intervene?
You don't have to apologise for talking on the stream. You invited yourself on, Dan. It's a pleasure to have you here, mate.
Well, actually, you invited me, and I've got. I
did actually. I'll give you that. Sorry,
I can prove that. So, what Barkley said. Barkley, how old are you?
20.
So you're Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Barkley's Gen Z. I'm a millennial. And he and I agree that bimbos are shit. Okay. And Chris, you and I have had this conversation before in a previous stream. You've said bimbos are amazing. I think they look like drag queens, personally. All these big bimbos. They don't look good. And we need to have a chat about this. So it's me and Barkley versus you and, I guess, Packer, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you might...
Right, so I am Chris's generation, and I don't necessarily agree with his preference, but I understand it. I fully understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I grew up with that. But it is our generation.
It's the 80s, isn't it? It's big hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
High heels. I mean, I think you'll be a pretty. Well, hang on a minute. Hang on here. Let's give it a little test. Right, let's have a little test here.
We could have a visual test. Okay.
We're gonna. Yeah, I just typed in bimbo and I grabbed the picture.
Right.
And I'm about to hear two blokes lying. So let me put this on the screen.
Awfully confident.
I am. I really am, because I understand the semiotics of it. Right, hang on.
We need to have a poll in the audience as well, by the way. So
yeah, I know what I know.
The Dangerfield sycophants will look.
Well, hang on. Oh no, you've got this audience wrong. What, you would not tap?
I would.
You would, yeah. Right, exactly.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying that bimbos aren't attractive. I never said that. What I said is that bimbofication is weird. I understand why people enjoy it, but this is the exact same thing that transgenders do. Gen Z, look at this. Look at bimbofication.
What do you mean weird? It's just sexuality.
I think hypnosis stuff is blatant.
Yeah, but no one believes it's hypnosis.
People would. People do. Transgenders who do it think it's real.
Barkley, they fill themselves full of sulfate. They put their missus in front of the screen for 5 minutes. And then when she turns around, she goes, I'll do anything for you. And the bloke goes, yeah, let's do it. That's it. No one's sitting there going, right, you need to do another 24 hours bimbofication or I'm going to divorce you. It's nothing. You're mental.
When you're sure, well, I didn't say they were doing that. I just speak the entire. Maybe people aren't taking it to as extreme as I thought, but transgenders do, and maybe that's why I had a bad impression. Because the LGBT community with the hypno stuff, it's like
we know that transgenders have also got other. Ray Peacock said, "For fuck's sake, better." It's not obligatory, Ray. You know, there's plenty of other channels if you want to watch them. Abstract C said, "Make her hair auburn." Sorry, Barkley?
I said, I'm eating raw clothes, and that leaves a better taste in my mouth than bimbofication.
Yeah, but, you know, I think it's a sexuality issue, and I'm sorry.
Hang on, what's wrong with that?
What, eating clothes, or?
No, her. What's wrong with that image there?
Nothing.
She's
then when she turns around, not only will I come home with you this evening, I'll do everything you tell me.
Just do it anyways, mate.
Then you've got an issue. Then there's a line she's crossed.
Sucker, like, snorter.
So someone said Basil Foley in chat said looks like Trump's daughter. Yeah, she looks like Ivanka.
She's hot as hell as well. And Ivanka's got a bit of the bimbo about her. I think you're looking a little bit too. You're looking at unnecessarily deep into something that's just a bit of sexy fun. Now, you might not find it attractive. It might not be the sort of sexy fun you like, but you don't. You know, that doesn't make it weird. It makes you weird to sort of get all arsey about it. It seems.
Have you never seen? Sorry, Paga. Have you never seen these girls in England who get these lip fillers and they make their lips really thick? Have you seen them? Like Geordie Shore type girls that get these. What is that? Why do they do this? Nobody likes this, I'm sure. But that that would be a bimbo thing for you. Is that something you would like, Chris? Is that a bimbo thing? Big lips?
Not too much of it. It's not really. No, I mean that bird that I had on the screen there all day long. I'd just tap her all day long. I can't see anything.
I'd prefer a hard-working farmer girl.
Yeah, the thing is, I believe you, but you're 20. Once you've been through a couple of thousand of them, you know, the mind gets dirty as you get closer to 30. Hello, Denise Minis.
Closer to 40 means more naughty.
I can vouch for a hard-working farmer girl. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Good Lord.
You find the right field, you're all right.
I think you took a wrong turning with the Mad Lizzie says it's a fella. Yeah, there you go. Hello, Mad Lizzie. Nice to see you. I think there's a little. You're seeing a bit too much into the fun videos. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't think there's much more to them than that. It's just a bit of fun.
Chris, you and I on a previous stream, we watched a video of, I think they were they in Manchester and Newcastle, like all these girls that were going out.
Have you got the link?
No, it was your stream. And you were like, oh, I would do every single one of them, and I was more, no, they're not for me. I prefer more natural look.
No, Dan, I remember what it was. Dan, I remember what it was. It was a little clip where 4 girls walked past. I managed to stop it, and they were like, one was a brunette, one was a blonde, one was a bit curvier, one was a bit thinner. That was it, wasn't it? And yes. You liked the dark-haired one in the jeans.
Yes.
And I said, no, I like the one on the end who looks like Barbie. Yeah, that was exactly it.
Porn star Barbie, yes, that's the one. Yeah. It might be a generational thing. I don't know. I mean, I think, I don't know, me and Barkley, we might be more...
We've been more microplastic, so, we're not straight.
Yeah. Maybe our brains are running away. Maybe we're just retarded or something.
But actually, in a weird way, we're less attracted to the plastic than Chris is. Think about that.
That is true. That's
Chris is attracted to plastic and silicon. That's why you invest in Nvidia.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I wouldn't have my missus. I wouldn't have any silicon go near.
If it wasn't for bimbos, Nvidia would actually be losing out because there'd be less of a deficit in the silicon.
That's true.
Basil 40 reckons oh come on, Diane Abbott. I mean,
oh fucking hell.
Chris has probably had worse, not regretted it, than shared the story.
I have made some mistakes. That's certainly true. I've certainly made. Hello, Steve. Good to see you. I have made some mistakes, but it's worth it. You know, it's a numbers game.
So apparently Kamala Harris has officially conceded to Trump. That's what I'm seeing on X now.
Dan, sorry, let me put that. I've got that link up that you said. Here we go, about Michigan. Let's have a look at
yes. That. But I've got something else as well.
All right, no worries. Have you got a link or is it?
Private chat. It's
I'll just see it. I'll just see it set up. So Dan sent us this a while back. Donald Trump claims Michigan, and I suppose this is kind of live, to secure a landslide US presidential victory. So there's no going back, thankfully. Donald Trump has cemented his win in the 2024 US election by officially winning the key battleground state of Michigan. Right, we don't need to read all that, but we would like, quite like to see the numbers if they've got them in here. Maybe, are there any numbers? Oh, they're still talking about these felonies. Look at this in the Metro. Previously, the 45th president, Trump is the first person convicted of a felony, it was a misdemeanor, to be elected president. And at 78 is the oldest person elected to office. Thanks for your good news, Metro. That's really important. Just get that in there. He's a criminal and he's nearly dead. Fuck off. You supported Joe Biden. He was dead before he even got the position. Jesus.
Isn't Metro a free newspaper? Don't they just leave that on the tube or something?
Right.
That's for cleaning up vomit on first bus. That's the only purpose of it. No one reads that shit.
Dan, you're going to love this bit of postmodern irony. So the Metro, when it first come out, it used to say in it, on nearly every other page, it'd have a little bit, don't throw your Metro away. Leave it on the tube for someone else to read, right?
Right.
That's what it said, yeah?
Yes.
And then, do you remember that? Do you remember that, Packer? Right?
Yeah.
And then London Underground got hold of Metro and said, oi, unless you're willing to pay to clear out fucking 2,000 Metros out of each of our trains every night, can you start putting a thing in the Metro saying, please take your newspaper home with you? And it won an award for that thing. It won an award for like sort of marketing or something, you know, best way to distribute a newspaper. Just leave it on your seat. Honestly, I was living in Soho at the time, and you'd get on the Piccadilly line and it was like a carpet of soggy Metros. And it was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then one day overnight, they were all gone because, but they won an award. The Metro won an award for something like novel marketing or something. Yeah. It's an absolute rag, though.
Yes, it is. Retards.
What do we think, Dan? I'll get up that other link, but while I'm doing it, what do we think? In the chat, people, between 1 and 10, with 1 being not likely and 10 being very likely, I'll say that again. With 1 being not likely and 10 being very likely, assassination attempt on Trump in his first year as president.
I'll give that 10.
Yeah, I'm thinking, of course. He's already had 2 before he'd even got the fucking gig.
Well, they're free. They're free. That's the Iranian guy who got caught before he could try.
Hang on, I don't know anything about that one, Barkley. What's that?
I don't know the details too intimately, but there was it was like an Iranian spy or some Middle Eastern spy got caught trying to pay people like £1 million to try and kill Trump, or $1 million to kill Trump. And
they sent like an asset over with a bag full of money.
Yeah,
they should have sent him over with a gun, maybe.
Well, oh yeah, he probably could source it. I think they're trying to do it in a clean way where it wouldn't have been obvious who did it in the end.
And Dennis has nailed it. Good to see you, Dennis, as well. I miss our chats on Skype, son.
Oh, Dennis. I remember, Des, when I first started watching this stream, I was playing Subnautica. I'd see Dennis's chats and stuff like that. Oh, the old days.
Tell you what, when we done Dangerfield's Chinese prescription, as soon as I see him, I thought I'm going to get on with this bloke. And I absolutely have. He's a very interesting lad, actually.
If you go back to the first Dangerfield's prescription, there's actually a comment from Keith Woods on there saying, like, oh, I think this guy's going to go far one day.
Oh, Woodentop, don't talk to me anymore. He's too famous.
Nah, that's not true. That's not
Well,
really.
Oh, listen, people, I've got a bit of an announcement. Old Millennial has invited me on for my, I think, 8th consecutive year of Millennial. And for reasons I can't tell you, I haven't even told him this. For reasons I can't tell you now, I can't do it. And I'm gutted. Because every year, anyone who's been on Millennial, every year you think, if I don't get invited this year, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a...
You fell off.
Yeah, what was so bad about last year? But I've had like 8 on the bounce or something. But I'm going to have to tell him that now. If you're watching this, Wozy, sorry for putting that in public. But I might have to talk to you about timing. I might be able to do it. But I've got some private stuff going on. I know everyone thinks I tell everyone everything, but I do have a private life, weirdly. But yeah, that'd be a shame. All right, Dan. So where are we going? That new link you put in.
I think you missed some super chats.
Does anyone know? You've put 2 in, have you, Dan?
Yeah, one was Michigan, one was something else. I can't.
Oh no, but there's 3 in. I've got.
Hang on a sec. So,
Packer, did you put one in there? Or did
Kamala has conceded the election. That's what.
Oh, there you go.
Finally, she's walking up from her drop.
That's what I'm thinking, Emma.
Hang on, what's Glass saying?
Said you're getting married.
Oh, no, don't Glass. Drop. That's that dealt with.
By the way, Chris.
Yes, mate.
Bald.
Hang on a minute. Hello, Dawny. Hello, love. Phil Marshall. I'll tell you what, I'm streaming at the crack of dawn. Not that dawn. That would be ridiculous. How lovely to see thee. Go on, Dan.
Thank you for that. Very timely interruption, as always.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Look,
Dan, I've only been doing this 10 years. I don't know how to stream.
That's fine. So, Bald and Bankrupt, very popular YouTuber.
I see him in Cambodia. Yeah, I'm sick of people making.
So, when I watched that video, he did a video in Cambodia about a month ago, and I sent it to you, dude. So, what do you think about that? Is that
there's too many people making videos about how good Cambodia is, and I want them to stop. Fuck off.
You threaten. You're like, fuck off.
I don't want Cambodia to turn into Thailand.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's my concern. Now, I'm moving out into the provinces, so I've got another 70, 80 years, and I ain't got that anyway, if you know what I mean. So I'll be all right. But
15, Jesus.
There's so many
78 years in the provinces because it is going to turn into Thailand.
Yeah, but the provinces are so they're still getting water out of wells out there. It's you've got the province I'm moving to. You've got to drive about 3 miles to get to like a mart. Like a little mini mart.
Yeah, it's but most of the west is going to be covered in solar panels and wind farms. We've got to grow our food somewhere.
Wind farms that don't even work. They don't work.
Yeah. Kill whales, kill birds.
Yeah.
Crap energy efficiency.
Apparently, they're like a dead bird graveyard at the bottom of them all, like thousands of dead birds.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's another green energy waste. If you want clean energy, nuclear, hydro. There you
I
go.
agree with nuclear. I don't know anything about hydro. Okay, so Harris finally called Trump. I bet she just rang him up and went.
Do you think Teddy D says that he thinks she's on a Xanax or she's microdosing Xanax? What do you think about that theory, Chris? I feel like you're the best person to ask.
I don't see Xanax with. I mean, I'll tell you who I see Xanax with, and I'll put money on it. Jordan Peterson, and I've said it plenty of times. He's got Xanax.
Emotional outbursts.
Yeah, crying a lot. That god awful conversation he had with Dawkins the other week. Well, I saw it the other week. I don't know when it was recorded.
On the dragon.
It was just a Xanax. He admitted he was dependent on Xanax, and then he went all around the world to find a miracle cure. And essentially, he says he did though. He
fucking
did.
hell.
This
guy's such a lol cow. He's such a fucking retard, this guy.
Yeah. He admitted all this, Dan. And in the end, he found this miracle cure in some ex-Eastern Bloc country, right? But he said, I'm not going to tell anyone what it was until it's finished, right? But that was about 3 years ago. And I've got plenty, trust me, I've got plenty of experience with benzodiazepines. And I know someone on Xanax when I see them. And his miracle cure is maintenance. He went to all these different treatment centers. Benzos are harder to get off than heroin. They're a fucking nightmare of a drug to get off. They can kill you. You have seizures. And when you have a seizure coming off of a benzo, the only thing they can do is get you a very fast-acting benzo. But they can't IV you, usually because you're a junkie and you've got no veins left, and the NHS won't go, or a private rehab won't go in your groin but also you're fucking flipping about all over the place. So how are they going to get a needle in you? So what they do is pull your trousers and pants down and stick a wax diazepam suppository up your outdoor. Now that might not sound very funny, but I've been to about 20 rehabs, and when there's someone there who's coming off of a large benzo habit, it's fucking brilliant because you can see it happening. You're like in group and that, and you see their eyes go a bit funny. And the right thing to do would be to say to the therapist, I think Simon's about to have a seizure, but everyone just keeps it on the QT because then they just go, yeah! And then they wet themselves. And then the therapist say, can everyone leave, please? No one moves. Everyone just stands there.
Right.
As this poor bastard has his trousers and pants down, there's piss flying everywhere. Everyone's trying to avoid it. And then they have to put this thing up his ass. And then it's because of the capillaries in your in between your inner and outer sphincter, it hits you in about 20 seconds. And then you come back to reality. But you're then sitting in a puddle of your own piss with your trousers down, and everyone else in group is just standing around you laughing their heads off. It's fucking brutal. So I reckon, and I mean this, and I'm not, this is alleged, this is just my opinion, Jordan, if you happen to see this. I think you couldn't hack it. And I don't blame you. It ain't easy. A benzo, it goes on forever. You don't sleep or anything. You have hallucinations. You have real hallucinations, not like LSD where things you already see change. You actually see spiders crawling under your skin and all that, but not one. Every part of your skin looks like there's big old tarantulas under it. And you can feel them as well. And I reckon in the end, Jordan Peterson found someone who said, look, you might as well stay on the fucking things, you know. And Jordan went sweet and then went back to America, got scripted. And that's his miracle treatment, maintenance on Xanax. I haven't got a problem with that either. I think people should be able to choose if they want to use drugs, use drugs. People use nicotine, people use sugar, people use caffeine, people use alcohol. If you want to use Xanax, use Xanax.
I mean, some have more detrimental effects on your ability to function as a normal person.
What's that?
some would have more detrimental effects on your ability to function as a normal person in society.
I think if I was putting my kid in a school van, I'd rather the driver be on Xanax and alcohol. Half the country's on.
Driver would be sober, maybe have some nicotine or caffeine to boost the focus if I really had to choose. Give him some sins.
John Palmer's after I mentioned that, they were the good old days, weren't they, JP? The old sulfate all weekenders with your missus. Fucking hell. Rise of the Right likes a bit of lefexidine. Yeah. We used to call it no-effexidine, though, because it's not for me. I mean, when I used to go to rehab, I used to, for the 2 weeks before, even if I didn't have not just me, all junkies done it. If you're going to rehab for an heroin habit, for 2 or 3 weeks before you go, you do 5 or 10 benzos a day. So that when you get there and they test your piss, you say, yeah, I've got a benzo habit. That way, while you're coming off the heroin, they're giving you benzos because they've got to tape. They think they've got to taper them, so you're getting a little bit of relief, not a lot, but a little bit. Little tip for you there, people. So if ever you do wind up in rehab, get yourself yeah. I'm with you, Weatherman, on that. Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that being your cup of tea. Rise of the Right. Mrs. Mean, it's on the firm. Sheila's in. I said hello to Sheila. Suffy says Marzipine travel sickness pills does that. What's that? And Dr. Potter's asthmatic fags. What's Marzipine? I've never even heard of it. Mousecat is suggesting John Palmer does the meat and sulf diet. I'll tell you what, there's no better diet than the sulfate diet. Get on it for 3 weeks and you'll weigh half what you did when you started. Although the crack diet is a weekend and you'll lose 10 kilos.
I've got a very brief story, right? I have a communist neighbour, and I went and knocked on his door yesterday because I like chatting to him, and he immediately opens. He goes, "Kai, I'm high as a kite." I was like, "Oh, good to hear, mate." He was like, "Yeah, I'm crack." I was like, "Oh, it's nice to hear, mate. Don't worry about me. I've got to go to speak to my mates." And he's like, "Oh, you play the drums, don't you?" "Yeah, I'm starting a new band."
Sorry, Barkley. I'm really into it, but I missed the beginning again. Sorry.
I knocked on my communist neighbour's door just to chat to him quickly, and he opens up and goes, "Kai, I'm high." I'm like, "Oh, it's good to hear, mate." He's like, "Yeah, I'm crack. Yeah." I was like, "Oh, it's good to know. I should need to check it." But sorry, I got to go. My friends would go, "Oh, you play the drums, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, you can probably hear me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a new band." I was like, "Oh yeah, punk band." Like, yeah. When my mate gets back from Canada, yeah, he's already talks to me. "Oh, we got to get together, mate. We're gonna start a band. It's gonna be some high-paced punk music." He will not be. I've seen him playing in the streets. Like he plays in the city in busks. He's horrific. He starts shouting at women about their scars. So he's nuts. But he's like proper, like old school Antifa. Like was there at the fall of the Berlin Wall. Like total nutter. First interaction with him was him telling me the first time he smoked DMT was with a bit of crack in a crack pipe. Nutty guy. He's you if you were a leftist and never got off it.
Well, I was a leftist when I was doing all that crack, wasn't I?
If you were still.
Well, I did. No, I'm not going to tell that story. Yeah, we've got a bit confused, Rise of the Right. I'm fully aware diazepam is a benzo, but I confused lefexidine with Britlefex. When I said Brit no effects, lefexidine, I know what you're talking about. That was my mistake. Apologies. I've never gone for travel sickness pills for a high. So you've got a crackhead neighbour, have you there?
Yeah, he's quite a character. I was worried when I first met him that he might have like secretly recognised me or something like that, but no, he clearly doesn't. He comes up to me, and goes, it's a bit of a dox, but it doesn't matter because my road's been posted by the news anyway. But he goes up, and he's like, "Mate, I hate Nazis and I love the Heartsies," and that's the estate that I live on. It's always a little bit of a funny gag. I see him, like I saw him in a chemist once, and he's like trying to sort out like a deal to get like diazepam or something like that, while in the chemist trying to be hush hush about it. But he's like laughing to me about it. He absolutely stinks, and like the chemist can hear him, probably thinking I'm a junkie as well.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when we were out in Venezuela, we were buying 100 rocks at a time, because for what you'd pay in England for one at that time, 20 quid was about the equivalent of 20p in Venezuela. So we were, instead of having to fucking run up and down the road to score every like 20 minutes, I said to my mate, look, let's just buy 100 at a time. When we first time we bought 100, you get a free prostitute. But when you've been smoking rocks for like 3 weeks solid, the last thing you want is some really hot bird in a bikini in your room. She was down one end, me and my mate were up the other end. We moved all our stuff because we thought she was going to rob us. We were both just sitting there on his pipes looking at her. I said, you can go if you want. And I think she quite preferred it there than down at the dealer's place. But the walk to the dealers, you could either go down the beach and get chased by packs of rabid dogs. One of them took a lump out the back of my calf muscle and jeans. Obviously not rabid, or well, maybe it was. Who knows? That would explain a lot. Or you could go the street way, but the street way was darkness. This was Margarita Island, which is a cocaine port. Most of the cocaine that leaves South America goes out of Margarita Island, which means everyone there's on crack. Everyone. We met this bloke on the beach. He looked like fucking Mario from Mario Brothers. And he was like, oh, gringo, you must come to my house, gringo. Come here, come meet my family, gringos. So we go to his house on the beach. We go up these steps. He gets his grandmother out. She's about 90. He gets all his kids out, the wife, you know, they're all there. Look, they're English, gringo, English. You want a drink? And we're like, oh, no, you're all right. And then he gets out those weird South American drinks. I can't remember what it's called, but you drink them out of a gourd. It's like a tea. It's cocaine, I think. Someone in the chat will know. But then while his wife and his grandmother and all the kids are there, he went, you want to smoke some crack? And I was like, sort of, but, you know. He went, yeah. He's come back with about an ounce. I mean, it's so fucking cheap there. He's got his pipe out. He's put about 40 quid's worth. I said, mate, I can't do all that in one. He's going, yes, you can. And as I thought what I'll do is I'll do half of it and just pass it on to my mate. Oh, no, he wouldn't let me do that. I've done it. He's going, hold it. I'm going. The weird thing with crack is, however long you hold it in, it doesn't hit you until you blow it out. It's weird. So you go, and I'm watching this rock like it's about that big, just not go anywhere. I'm going, fucking hell, please. And he's going, hold it. He's holding my lips together. And then when I blew it out, he stuck the thing back in my mouth and lit it. And I'll tell you what, and anyone who smoked crack in the chat will know this. First thing that happens, you get, it goes, boo, like when you turn the telly off in the 70s, it's like, boo. And then anyone who says an S, so if they say yes, it goes, yes. I think I'm going to puke in a minute. Another classic problem. But then he does the same to my mate. My mate's just out on the floor looking like he's dying. Then his wife has some. Then the grandmother gets on the pipe. They're all at it. And even the kids, who they can't have been older than 14, they were going, oh, come on. But in Spanish, oh, no. And then the old man was like, no, we got gringo here. You cannot smoke the crack. And then he went, you're going to have one. And these things started sharing his pipe. And I'm suddenly sitting, pizzle, don't. It's all coming back. Don't. It does. It tastes like an hospital floor. But the mad thing was, I suddenly, in this room, with this boo, and all this, and there's like a 90-year-old woman just fucking rushing on crack, and these two 14-year-olds fighting over the remnants. John Palmer said, wholesome. Yeah, man. That was when Chavez had just taken over. It was a weird place, Venezuela, man. Fucking hell, 8 weeks we were there. My advice is not to go, especially not now.
Thank you for that. That's good.
Yeah. Right, so we had a look at that.
You're really
one.
selling it, Ben.
Listen, look, right. I'm gonna. This is a warning. I'm gonna tell you the truth now. Crack will do more damage to your life in 6 weeks than any other drug will in 10 years. It gets hold of you. Anyone in the chat who can relate to what I'm saying, stick a 1. If it gets hold of you, it doesn't let go, right? And you will do anything to get another one because it works. Like, I don't like cocaine. I like injecting cocaine because it works. It was made for injection, but sticking it up your nose, it's like having a beer through your ear. It's like you're doing it wrong, mate.
Yikes.
But crack, your lungs are about the size of a tennis court if you were to open them all out. And so when you smoke it, you get so much. Look at Pizzle, worst thing ever. Yeah. But there's nothing like it for the feeling it gives you. It's like there's no pleasure like it. And I have to admit that because I'd be lying otherwise. Now, yes, people drop like flies on it. The demand it puts on your heart. You know, when I used to go to NA, there'd be 3 or 4 people a week dying from smoking crack. But it takes you so fucking high. You go from normal to just like, it's an out-of-body experience. You can't explain it because it's beyond language. But the problem, and it's rather a big problem, you go back down equally as far. So, and you know, on the news they go crack cocaine. It's £10 a hit, and it only lasts half hour. It doesn't last half hour. It lasts about 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and then you want more, and that's when you're stuck. Then you're absolutely stuck. I got to the point where I would buy the rocks that I knew I wanted, so I'd get about 10 rocks, and then I'd make sure I had 3 diazepam out-of-date NHS stock ampules, so that when those rocks had run out, bosh, 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 gone. Because that's why it's so deadly, because you feel so rotten when the effect's worn off. You've never felt that bad in your life. And it's not a physical thing. It's just you are chemically unable, and it has affected your serotonin, your dopamine, and what's the other one? And your endorphins. It affects all 3. And your synapses, they just ain't, the neurotransmitters ain't communicating. You are chemically unable to feel nice. And it's hideous. It's so horrible. So, and there's only one way you can get away from that. Have some more. And like, I know people, I've gone round their house, and they're not junkies or anything. And I was, and like, they just split up with their girlfriend. And I'm like, do you mind if I just have a quick pipe? And they go, can I have a bit? And I'm like, oh, come on, mate. You don't want to go down that road. And he's like, look, mate, I've got nothing left. The missus has left me. I just want a little break. And I'm like, I beg you not to. I'm not going to say no, but I beg you not to. But it's going to be 20 quid, please. Then, this is a true story, right? He'd never smoked crack before. So what I'd done is I'd give him my seconds. So I put a 20 stone on it. He paid for it, thanks. I told it anyway. That's just me being a cunt. But I've done the first bit, and then I said, here, it looks like there's nothing in there, but it's in the ash. And he's gone. And he just went, oh my, when he blew it out, oh my fucking God. And then when he come back down, he went, have you got any more? First line, have you got any more? I did. So obviously I went, no. And he went, can you get any more? I said, yeah. So I got him a few more, and then I just left him because he was going mad. 3 weeks later, I went round his house. It was empty. He'd sold everything. He had a nice pad as well, nice big flat screen TV, nice computer, like, you know, games, consoles, loads of games. Everything was gone. He was a full-blown crack addict in 3 weeks. He looked like a skeleton. And I was like, what the fuck has happened to you? And he went, nah, I fucking love it, mate. He went, this is the life I've been looking for. And I was looking around thinking, well, you didn't have to look very far, did you? You just sat on your ass. Yeah, man, it's a dangerous drug, man. When heroin, before crack hit the English scene, heroin addicts looked out for each other. As soon as that crack arrived, it was each man for himself. Anyway, go Trump. Please don't forget to like the stream. I'll just do some super chats and we'll get back to what we're meant to be here for.
Yeah. Hey, look, sorry, Chris. I've got 5 minutes and I have to leave. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Did you see my message in the private chat, Chris?
Oh, no,
Dan,
you've got
sorry.
that.
Yeah, I sent out like half an hour ago.
Dan,
Okay,
what do you want? Do you want me to? Do you want me to put that X thing up? Is that the one I haven't put up?
I have no idea. The conceding speech. Yeah, I think Kamala's gonna concede finally tonight. Yeah, but
hang on, is this actually it? I think I've got it.
Anyway, so I need to leave in like 2 minutes.
All right. Well, it's we'll let you go. Well, I've got her as well because the football starts in 15 minutes.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, I've got Sunderland and Preston to watch. So
I'll tell you what. As I said, Arsenal played Preston North End the other week. They're a bunch of thugs. They. Where is Sunderland in the Championship at the moment? Where are you?
Top, number 1, top.
Oh yeah, you were talking about getting promoted. Where are Preston? They're mid-table, aren't they?
No idea.
Yeah, they're mid-table because that was said when we played them. They're
Bunch
not
of
bad.
fucking plotters, you know, that's what they are.
Wait, hang on a minute. So you might have Sunderland. You might be in the Premier League next year.
Yes, we might be in that terrible globalist organization. Yes.
Oh, hey, you lying bastard! I know you'd be absolutely over the moon if you got promoted. You'd fucking love it.
I tell you what, Chris. I tell you what. You know, everyone who watches us, they think, "Oh, football's a scam," and it is. But you said something. You said if you give up these cultural things, then you're going to lose. You know, that's the way it is.
And I've said that about football on this channel before.
Exactly.
The English invented the fucking sport. Okay, you don't like it because it's got a load of foreigners in it. But
Chris, the Chinese kicked something resembling a ball around 2,000 years ago into something that resembles a goal. Yes,
I'm talking about association football or soccer, as we like to call it.
Fuck the Chinese, yes, I agree.
Nah, man, I'll tell you what. Sunderland get promoted. I'll call you up and I'll see how you deal with it live when you go, I'm mildly happy about that. You'll get a season ticket. It'll be amazing.
Hey, look, the best player in the Championship is a 17-year-old teenager, Chris Rake. So there you go.
Wait, Arsenal started a 17-year-old a couple of times this season.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Premier League doesn't matter.
Fucking hell, Packer. What was that about? I don't know
what. You broke him, Chris.
Are you drinking, Dan?
Yes.
There you go. I'll let you off there. Not a problem.
Thank you.
There you go. But no, weirdly, we've got a couple. We had two 17-year-old. No, a 17 and an 18-year-old playing in our first team the other day.
Great.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird old world. Well, listen, Dan, thanks for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've done 3.25 hours. Jesus.
What I'd like to say is, just because I'm signing off now, I was on Twitter just before, and I saw Rory Stewart, that guy. The
rings a bell.
The so-called conservative Rory Stewart. Chris, it's funny.
Hang on a minute. No, I was just turning the fan on. Dan, is he the bloke who looked a bit like Mick Jagger and he was in the press a while back?
Yeah. Well, yes, that is him. But what I was going to say is, when you and I and Hugh used to do the Three Stooges, Hugh used to say like, "Oh, this guy he's so well educated. He knows about everything. What's he doing in the Conservative Party?" And now he is just the worst person on Twitter. Because he has he has a podcast with fucking Alistair Campbell. It's amazing. Oh, yes, the Iraq War and all that. Yeah, amazing.
So what is he like? Just some neocon or something?
He looks like a soy boy. He looks like
He
Gollum.
does.
He
But
says
he
he's a
did tour
conservative.
the world, didn't he? He went on a world tour. Just him. He just left one day, and I suppose
he was so sure that Kamala was going to win because apparently he thought his explanation was he didn't believe that people would vote for someone who was so immoral as Trump, right? And he's a moron. But Rory Stewart, Hugh loved him. He's such a smart guy, Chris. He's such a smart guy. Bullshit.
Do you remember when I said that the gays were early adopters and Hugh would never let it lie?
He loved that. The early adopters. They are
though. And they tend to be higher IQ as well. I don't know. I suppose years of living in Soho, being the only straight in the village, I quite like the gays. I think they're all right. Some
are okay, but
like some straights are. Danny boy, thanks for coming on. People, stick a big D in the chat for Dan. That would be absolutely beautiful. Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy. I was about to say the weekend. We ain't anywhere near it yet, are we? Good.
Still got a few days. I'm working from home for all of it.
Good luck against Preston North End.
Thank you so much. I think we will win.
I don't know whether
Chris Rigg, the 17-year-old Messi is great. From
Dan, I don't know whether to watch Arsenal Inter Milan or Sunderland Preston North End.
Sunderland Preston. That's the way it is. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's going to.
By the way, Barkley, I don't know this. This might be law. Barkley, why did you have Kai as your name?
Because I stopped using the name Barkley a long time ago because my real name is Kai.
Oh shit!
That name was it's just a name I used to use, and I'm trying to present a more professional image. Other when I come on here, of course. This is where I come to lay loose. My real name's Kai.
Lay loose of all things. Yeah. Jesus, you're putting me in trouble now.
It's been nice chatting to you, Dan. It's the second time I've ever spoken, and I've asked for your telegram off of Chris a few times, and he's gatekeeps it off me, so probably to keep you free from my nonsense.
Hey, look, Chris will give you anything. I don't have telegram. He'll give you my number. It's fine. It's all good.
There you go.
He's not doing it. I can see that.
I'm so. By the way,
drop me a message on Twitter, Dan. We'll go from there.
I certainly will. I'm so fucking drunk. I'm just tired.
I'm so fucking drunk, and I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Enjoy the footy. But try and stay awake for it because you might have a result here.
Thank you.
Yeah, look out. Get a D in the chat for Dan, people. Look after yourself, Dan. I know that I'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Yeah, look after yourself, mate. Let's go through these super chats because people have put their hands in their pockets. MCJ Dub Power. I really enjoy these streams apart from the content, format, and delivery. Overall, surprisingly mediocre content. It's a blast from the past. It's a good one, though. Lovely. Well done, MC Dub Power. Appreciated. And then he says it again. It's a double bubble Lady Godiva 5 Aliver. If you want one of those back, I think I can sort it out. I'm not sure, but I think you can reverse it if you've done that by accident.
I think he can. He can do it himself if he wants to.
Yeah, but don't tell him how to. Leon said, Chris, I think it's amazing that you had Chesney Hawks on the stream.
Thanks, Leon. It's very kind of you to say so.
Yeah, that's not fair. Nice one, Leon. Hope you're well. Thank you. AI Robot, free. Millennial 10th year anniversary. Be there or be. And then he left it open. I was invited. I don't know if I can make it. And I'm gutted.
Yeah, see, now, if you don't, and next year he don't invite you, you're going to kick yourself, aren't you? You're so going to kick yourself.
There's something very important on the horizon, so I don't want to commit to something and then let him down because the amount of work and effort he puts into scheduling that, I don't know how he does it, man. 4 or 5 live streams a day with very different people talking about it. Good Lord. fair play to him. And I'd love to do it, but anyway, we'll see. I should have really spoken to him before I talked about it on air. Thank you, AI Robot. John Palmer, this is why I'm here. Smash them reds, bruv. What you talking about, JP? I already done told you time already. Ain't got no crack for you, boy. And then Basil 40. You lads should do a weekly or monthly show. Fash 4. Yeah. Nice one. James, I miss the AI bird. Billy keeps sending me ones. Well, there you go. She wasn't AI. I don't know. It was just a picture of a lady. Brad James, what you mean by Xanax? What do you mean by Xanax? Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I get it. I do get that. Did you see him on that Dawkins chat? It was like, come on.
I saw the clip of him talking about the dragon, and I understood what he was trying to say, but he was getting his point across very poorly. I'm empathetic like that. I know when someone's sounding retarded, but they have a deeper point. That's what I'm like.
Barclay, the problem was he knows he doesn't believe in the virgin birth, but he's becoming a post-structuralist. He confuses post-structuralism with postmodernism. He hates the postmodernists, but that means he hasn't got the language to articulate it. He doesn't want to say he doesn't believe in the virgin birth because he understands the power of mythology, and he understands his power and his reach. And he doesn't want to start dissing Christianity to that extent. But the way he went around it, those like Dawkins and that 12-year-old Alex bloke would, did you see the bit when Alex went to him? I mean, you must know what he's asking you. It's quite a straightforward question. And old Xanax said was like, and Dawkins was just sort of laughing at him as if to say, you're nuts. I felt a bit sorry for Jordan Peterson then. I actually did, because I thought, come on, man. Anyway, nice one, Brad. That's a very cool joke. Plastic African drops an Ayrton Senna, saves the day. 3-hour stream. My man, he needs help. Tell him it's not in Cornwall, bro. Trump train. Give me $1 for that. Okay, Chris, don't take it too serious now. I haven't got a clue, man. You, Barclay, any help on that one?
I need help. Tell home it's not in Cornwall, bro. Trump train. Give me $1 for that. Okay, Chris. Don't take it too serious now.
You got
Thank you very much, Plastic African.
He's great though, man. Have you seen him? He's got a fucking beard, like it's like the biggest beard in the world. Cheers, Plastic. And drop to Lady Godiva. Are cigarettes really on the same addiction scale as heroin, as my doc said? Happy to have got off these little devils. I don't believe in addiction. I believe in the superficial sense that once you stop taking a drug you've been taking frequently and regularly, you will have some kind of physical withdrawal with alcohol, benzos, nicotine, heroin. Yes. I think cigarettes are harder to give up than heroin because you don't see the bad effects of them. You might smell a bit and they're quite expensive, but heroin, if you've got problems getting it, you've got problems getting the money, you stop eating, you stop sleeping, and very quickly you're hanging around with some of society's worst people.
I argue the same thing about weed, to be honest, because weed's not like cocaine. We can overdose on it. It's more dangerous because you're just more susceptible to becoming a dosser. I'm happy because I've got down from like smoking cigarettes like a degenerate on stream in my living room. I always had the door open. I'm down to the nicotine pouches. Doesn't smell. Feels nice. Can have them at work. And Swedish birds love me for it. Zero of them.
Go. Listen, I've got to wrap this up because I want to watch the footy, but I will get a bit of music to play us out. It's only right. I think it's going to have to be Alex. It will be Alex.
Chris,
I can't. I've got no more time because I'm going to miss the footies kickoff in 4 seconds. And Inter Milan Arsenal, you can understand that's quite.
I'll message you on Telegram and get back to you. You've been vacant from my life.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. So, Hans, I think, listen, Hans, people take drugs because they want to. Addiction as such is a choice. But because cigarettes are so socially accepted, because you can buy them on the corner shop, because everyone's standing outside the pub smoking them, it's easier just to keep doing it. And you don't realize that it might take 10, 20 years for it to give you bronchitis, lung cancer, heart disease. Whereas heroin, you know quite quickly that it's dominating and ruining your life. It doesn't have to. I know people who've managed their heroin habits for years, decades. But there's no real addiction as such doesn't exist. So it's a hard question to answer. Nice one, though. Brad said, going back to hurl darts at your visage. Nice one, Brad. Not a problem. Enjoy. Mad Lizzie just said cheers. Thanks, Mad Lizzie. Lovely, that last-minute lady Godiva. Dawn Browning saves the day with 20 big ones. If Barks can have Dan's phone number, can I have Hugh's? I've got Hugh's phone number, but I don't think his missus will be too happy. I'll ask him, though. I'll certainly ask him, Dawn. Thanks for that. There's a massive hoit to the...
Sorry, at least I got Dan's.
One of the OG of OG scrubs there. Right, people, thank you. Don't forget to like the stream. Please check out my Substack. Even if you don't like it, subscribe. It helps with the Substack algorithm. Fucking hell, the amount of algorithms I need help with. Let's have a P in the chat for Packer. Let's have a B in the chat for Barkley. And here's a bit of Alex. Yes, Trump. Trump won. The commies lost. USA, praise be. Up yours, Starmer. You ain't
God bless America.
Look after yourself.
God bless the United
people.
Kingdom.
Cheers, Packer. Cheers, Barks. And here we go, people. I think it's bless you all, by the way. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Feel free to help out at the last minute grift. It's the only reason I play music at the end, to be honest with you. And this is your friend of mine, Alex. Take it away, sir.
The company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murder scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive, selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we want to eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. In a roof vampire pot, then the goblins are hobbling round, coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap, we don't even notice, and itself rising up against us. Millions upon people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our that's so good. Oh, that's so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Funnily enough, so was I. It was absolutely peculiar. Now, I forgot to say some thank yous. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to Barkley, Packer, and Dan, of course. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the OG scrubs. I can put a stream up and people come here. I'll try and do 3 or 4 a week. Do try and check out my Substack. You might be surprised. You know what I'm like. You know the kind of person I've been and I am. It's the top link after all the garbage in the description. And thanks to everyone who donated. It's really appreciated. I'm now gonna watch Arsenal beat Inter Milan. Yeah. Look after yourselves, people. Bless you all. And a massive. Oh, is that a cockroach? No, it's my shadow. And a massive hoit.